Every year, thousands of Brits leave the UK in search of a dream in Europe.
Look at that sunrise now, beautiful.
I could almost die and go to heaven, and this is what it would be like.
There's sunshine, scenery and a great quality of life. But all this has to be paid for.
Yes, we bought our house!
So to fund the dream,
This is part of our working day now.
Brits are jumping in and starting up businesses.
There's absolutely no way that we can host a wedding in this marquee.
On this brand new series, we follow a fresh wave of expats.
She's like a pregnant Hollywood star.
Running B&Bs and boats in Spain.
It's another day in the office.
Vineyards and villas in France.
One day you might be drinking that.
But will they make it? Or break it?
If we don't start getting bookings, it's going to be a bit of a problem.
It's all a learning curve.
And will these new expats find happiness in the sun?
This could be a new life in the sun for us.
Today, can two English estate agents
We love wine.
turn their passion into profit in rural France?
C'est meilleur ça, en France.
I ain't got a clue what that was.
A new dream life for one young couple.
Something like this in the UK would be well out of our reach, wouldn't it?
Oh, completely.
But will their new guest house be a success?
We're going to work day and night, as long as it takes.
And flying high. However, will this thrill seeker be brought down to earth with a bump?
If you ask 100 people, I reckon maybe 90 will say they don't want to paraglide, but it's that 10 people that I want to try and get. And they are here.
France has some of the finest vineyards in the world, and the choice of wine to sample is extraordinary. From a Cabernet Sauvignon in Bordeaux to the famous Malbec in Cahors, connoisseurs are spoilt for choice. It's this heritage and history that has persuaded two estate agents to sell up everything and move here.
We love wine.
Rob Brimfield and Steve McMahon have just said goodbye to Hereford and bonjour to the tiny French village of Puisigan, close to Saint-Emilion.
It's the centre of the universe where wine's concerned.
Biggest producer in the world, best quality in the world. I don't think that's
And this is
within
right at the
that
heart
sort.
of it all.
So now these two wine lovers have decided to follow their dream
Cheers.
by turning their passion into a business.
Come on.
For 5 years we ran a estate agents and letting business and realised it's not really what we wanted. We needed something that had that word life in the title. So we sold it and we had no idea where we were going. You can say something now because I'm boring after a while.
I found you very interesting.
Oh, did you? Okay, I'll keep going then.
Rob and Steve are planning to take the French on at their own game by making and selling their own wine. They recently bought Clovier Rocher, a 20-acre estate which comes with 2 houses. It cost less than €500,000. An equivalent business in the UK would likely be well over 3 million.
We saw loads of derelict properties, little gîte complexes that were in the right place but the wrong complex. And as a bit of a wild card, the agent said, come and have a look at this place. And that was it. We stood in the corner over there, looked down over at the lot and said, this is it, isn't it?
But the problem is, Rob and Steve have never done anything like this before, and there's a lot at stake.
There are some very big financial risks with your harvest. If it doesn't work, you're looking at thousands gone just through a silly mistake.
And it all starts now for these wine novices. It's May, 5 months until harvest, and work to get the best crop is underway.
So this tiny one here, we're just going to pinch it away, and those should produce good full bunches of juicy grapes.
Rob and Steve will need to keep a close eye on the vines until harvest to ensure they get a decent yield. It's hard enough for experts. For first-timers, it's a huge challenge.
Knowledge-wise, it's more from a book and I suppose a little bit of knowledge which has fast become, not a lot of knowledge, but it's a fast learning curve on on what needs to be done. And then you've always got the visit to the hospital because you hit yourself on the head with the post rammer, putting in new fence posts, missed the top of the post and managed to clunk yourself on the head. So that was 3 hours in A&E and 2 stitches, but part and parcel of it.
Tending the vines will be a 7-day-a-week job for Steve and Rob.
Branston, good boy.
But they also need to renovate this dilapidated farmhouse. This stone house will soon be Rob and Steve's new home.
That facade's beautiful now, isn't it?
It is.
Today they're on site to check on progress.
The joys of having a craftsman on site rather than just a builder. Alan's a really good stonemason and he make it look amazing with what seems no effort.
As well as restoring the original French stonework, the inside has been gutted, but it's taking time.
We're only a month behind schedule so far, which is, as timescales on this sort of project go, probably not too bad. We can't grumble, we've got a nice view to look at as we see it all develop and change from a pile of stones into something that's really good.
This is going to be our kitchen. So in the next week we'll be bringing in all the kitchen furniture and installing that in its position, and my beautiful cooker.
But all these renovations will cost money. Steve and Rob need to get cash coming in as well as going out. So now they plan to sell last year's harvest, which could bring in thousands of euros. But first they need to bottle it. The Costa Blanca began booming as a tourist destination in the 1950s. Since then, 2 million tourists flock here every year to sample this piece of Spanish paradise. Whether it's extreme water sports that float your boat, sunbathing in the sunshine, or taking a dip in the crystal clear waters of the Mediterranean. The 100 kilometres of coastline here really does have something for everyone. Amongst the holiday makers, there are those people who are lucky enough to call this home. Couples like Joe Reed and his wife Jolene, who are originally from Torquay.
Personally, I love it. You've got the weather to be able to go out on a daily basis and enjoy the weather, enjoy the outside. You've got the countryside here as well, you're right on the coast.
The restaurants, the food, the Spanish culture.
Yeah, for sure.
Just a lifestyle. You get up and it's sunny and it puts a smile on your face.
Jolene's a professional singer. So the region's top nightlife was also a big draw.
And of course you've got the entertainment capital of Europe, which is Benidorm. And I wanted to be part of that scene, you know, because it is fantastic there. You've got so many shows and people on holiday and it's great.
Though Jolene is making a go of things, Joe is struggling to find the right business that works for him.
So about 3.5 to 4 hour walk, it's going to be about 10 kilometres and there's no rush whatsoever.
His latest venture, hill walking in the searing heat, hasn't been bringing in enough clients.
I mean, in the peak of the day, it can be way too hot to go out walking.
So Joe's now hoping to get a new idea off the ground.
Woo!
A paragliding business.
Amazing, eh? The Costa Blanca is one of the most amazing places to paraglide because it's so scenic, it's so beautiful, you're right on the coast and there's a lot of takeoff points as well. So it's perfect.
Spain is Europe's second most mountainous country after Switzerland. Meaning paragliding is both accessible and exhilarating.
I found a niche market here and I think if I work hard at it, if I put 100% into it, there's absolutely no reason why not it cannot work. There's no reason at all.
The couple have now invested their savings in the new paragliding venture. So to continue living the life they love, it must succeed.
I'm not interested in the money side of things for now because I've got Joe working in Benidorm. So no, money's not a problem. No, but yeah.
You can survive on one wage here.
Yeah,
basically.
you can. And I've got you working like a donkey, so good girl.
Yeah, you have actually.
No.
That's got to change.
The busy tourist season is about to get underway and Joe needs bookings. Time to get the word out about his new venture.
I bought 6A boards and it cost me £278. Yeah, that was including the postage from the UK as well. But they were definitely the cheapest I found, nice and light, and they seem really good. They'll do the job for sure, as long as it doesn't get too windy. Yeah, I think they're good.
With so many businesses vying for that tourist trade, room on the pavement is tight.
Don't know where we're going to put it. If you want to leave it up here just the time being.
Perfect, sounds good. I know you got a lot of boards, but maybe when there's a bit of space.
That'll do for there
Just
anyway.
there, yeah? Perfect.
But will the people of Benidorm be ready to swap sandy beaches for the open skies?
How about yourselves, ladies and gents? Paragliding, what do you think? Is that something you'd want to try? No? What do you think to paragliding? Is that something that you think you'd try at all? No? Scared of heights? Yeah?
I'm bad enough in a lift, never mind.
If you ask 100 people, I reckon maybe 90 will say they don't want to paraglide, but it's that 10 people that I want to try and get. And they are here.
This is Joe's dream. He's not going to give up without a fight.
I am up against quite a lot. And they're established as well, the vast majority of them. But there's always room for one more, especially when it comes to paragliding.
And it isn't long before his persistence pays off.
What do you think? Would you do something like that, paragliding?
Yeah. How much is that a going?
€90, that's in August.
Yeah, that's cheap.
Yeah, it is. It's one of the cheapest prices in the whole of Europe, to be honest.
So when's that opening up?
Every single day, it's already open.
Can't see that failing, not failing.
Yeah, nice one.
Yep. Cheers.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. As soon as he saw that picture, he stopped right away and wanted to know more information. This is the way to do it.
The signs are promising, but now interest is rising about this new venture. Can Joe bring in the customers? Deep in the heart of rural France, the countryside is breathtaking, with stunning views and landscapes as far as the eye can see. And purchasing a slice of this idyll is much cheaper than you may think.
Do you get value for money in France? Yes, you do.
This stunning 5-bed traditional French house could be yours for around £315,000. It comes with a private pool and is set in 2.5 acres of land.
Something like this in the UK, you're probably talking £600,000, and that's possibly without the swimming pool.
One couple lucky enough to be living in a beautiful property in southern France are Sam and Andrew Ledwith.
I don't know if it is alcoholic, actually.
We'll find out after a couple more.
They swapped a semi in Leicestershire for the village of Puy-l'Evêque in the Lot Valley, a department in the Midi-Pyrénées.
Everyone heads to the Dordogne mainly, but the Lot Valley is undiscovered.
It's absolutely stunning.
No matter how many times we've walked around, we always find somewhere that
Somewhere
we've not
new,
seen.
some-
So there's a little hidden
yeah.
street or a hidden viewpoint like this.
It's quite a calm, peaceful place to come to.
They've just finished renovating this stunning farmhouse, set in 12.5 acres of land.
Something like this in the UK would be well out of our reach, wouldn't it?
Oh, completely.
For a lot of people, yeah.
You get a lot more for your money in France.
I wouldn't even cut the grass back in the UK. Look how much grass we've got now. So.
Yeah, and the wildlife that we have here, you don't see that every day in the UK.
The farmhouse is divided to create their own 3-bed accommodation and a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom luxury guest suite. They're hoping this will give them an income so they can spend the rest of their lives in France.
Growing up, I would never have dreamt of being in a French countryside, living my days here, like, not a chance. To see myself like now, I've never dreamt of it being here. It's a nice dream being here, isn't it?
But despite loving the life, this was never part of their grand plan. This was actually Sam's father's long-term dream, one he sadly never realised.
My dad was quite ill with cancer, and he was having his treatment here, and unfortunately he passed away last year. Following on from that, Andrew and I decided that we were going to come out here and give it a go.
Sam left her career as a shoe designer, and fire prevention officer Andrew quit his job to continue the legacy.
At the minute we haven't got an income and all the money's getting pumped into the house of renovations and stuff, so if it doesn't pay off, where are we going to be? It is a
We will have to
It's
leave
a worry,
and
but
go back to the UK. And we don't want to do that, so we're going to give it everything we can.
Now there's no turning back. Their first guests are booked to arrive in just 5 weeks' time.
let go of that one. Hold the ladder. That's it. Don't spike yourself.
I try not to.
And though most of the work in the gîte is complete, Sam and Andrew have left the biggest job until last.
So we've started the pool.
At the minute, it still looks like a building site, which it is. So once the first guests arrive, we don't want them turning up to a building site. So it's pressure, but it's good pressure because you know it's.
We work
something...
well under pressure, don't we?
Yeah, well, yeah, we've got to, haven't we? So.
The pool will be 10 by 5 metres, and they're hoping to halve the €30,000 costs by doing most of the work themselves.
We started this morning with the cementing into the blocks. And how many have we done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we've still got about another 100 blocks to fill. So it's going to be intense. We're going to have to work quicker.
We would never do this in the UK, and having this opportunity to come out here and say we've built our own pool, it'll be a fantastic achievement. If we can do this, then we'll feel like we can do anything.
Guests will be splashing out over €1,000 for a week's stay, so Sam and Andrew must deliver.
We're going to work day and night, as long as it takes. People have paid to come on holiday and stay with us, and they're expecting a pool, so they're going to get a pool. It'll be worth it when it's done.
In a tiny French village between Bordeaux and Bergerac, 2 expats believe they may have found the perfect place to spend the rest of their lives.
I've got his plot picked out over there, so it's fine. Some days it feels as if it should be sooner rather than later, but generally when the time comes, we can curl up our toes and pop in the soil over here, it'll be fine.
There's people that will investigate if I go missing early.
Rob and Steve are just entering their first season as vineyard owners and hope to continue a local tradition making Côte de Bordeaux. But that's just the start of their plans. Steve and Rob have a long-term project to turn the old farmhouse they're living in into a luxury gîte, but it is currently anything but.
The kitchen, which we basically managed to live in most of the time really, with our wonderful cooker that has got 2 temperatures, that's on and off.
It's a campsite, isn't it?
It's a campsite.
For us. We're just, in our head, we're camping.
And they're also renovating another house, which will hopefully become their new dream home. It's now June, and the couple should have moved in 2 months ago.
You need the lights for it.
The whole house is now being plastered, but they're facing an ever-growing snagging list.
There's mushrooms growing on the wall.
Okay.
Today, the builders are on site.
This is our what we call our petit cave, or our pantry really. And because it's slightly below level, we're having to combat the moisture in the soil and the rock. I suppose it's ideal for a little bit of fungal growth.
In the kitchen, the units are in place, but there has been a problem with Steve's pride and joy.
Our first cooker arrived flat in the back of the delivery lorry, smashed. We're still smiling, aren't we?
Barely.
And that's not the only appliance issue.
We could not find, for love nor money, a tumble dryer over here that was integrated. There are hundreds and thousands of tumble dryers of all shapes and sizes, but do they have one that goes under the counter that takes a drawer? No, so we've got to buy an English one and have it shipped over, so that's due this week.
Rob and Steve are also building a wine tasting room and shop. But are these former estate agents more at home selling than renovating?
You have to take those off and redo it. I don't want the wires exposed. The wire's going over the wood to join the mechanism of the light, and it's fitted onto a wooden beam. You could have easily just drilled holes through and fed the wires through the back of the light fitting.
Steve's definitely the perfectionist. I'm a little bit more, but it looks clean, it looks tidy, it's nearly in the right place, surely that will do.
I'm the one with the attention to detail, it's true.
But it seems the local tradesmen are struggling with his attention to detail.
de prenez le connection, We do try and make as much effort as possible speaking French. Our French is terrible. Okay. Nous voudrons un trou dans le bois.
He doesn't want to put the wire through because, oh, you're drilling a hole in wood to put a cable through, you shouldn't do it.
With costly renovations underway, Rob and Steve need to start earning an income. Along with the vineyard, the couple also purchased 2,500 litres of last year's harvest, a great asset which could get the cash flowing.
Everything is artisan, it's traditional, it's done by hand. We're here to do every stage of the process. You do have to taste as you go along, which is really difficult. None of us like it, but you have to be forced.
The tasting's the good bit. It's the swallowing bit of it is the problem. That's where you come unstuck. After a while you decide, do I? No, and you do drink it.
It's mid-afternoon and 3,500 empty bottles have just arrived ready for tomorrow's bottling.
It's too far forward now.
It's fine, you'll just line it up with the other case, Steve.
I like things done very precisely.
But Steve spotted a problem.
When are the corks coming?
Should be here today sometime. What we want now is everything to be ready and no corks.
Rob and Steve have booked a bottling machine to turn up in the morning. But will that be redundant if the corks don't arrive? Puy-l'Evêque, where Sam Ledwith and her husband Andrew are hoping to realise her late father's dream of running a holiday cottage business.
Was bought as a derelict farm, so a lot of time and energy and money has been pumped into this house. And he died at the age of 56, so he didn't really have the opportunity to come here and enjoy it at its full. So for guests to come out and really enjoy what my dad did and what we've done, how we've finished it off, it would just be so satisfying, so rewarding, and it really, really, really means so much. So.
Though the house is now perfect for guests, Sam and Andrew have been battling hard to finish the pool, a vital part of this new business and something they must complete.
The guests that have booked with us, they work hard and they spend most of the year looking forward to coming out and spending some relaxing time with the families.
Family time, yeah.
And if they came here and it was like, it's okay, we'd be gutted, wouldn't we? Because that means we haven't done our job of what we've set out to do.
For the past 6 weeks, Sam and Andrew have worked day and night. From building the pool, to rendering the walls, and then landscaping the surrounding area. It has been a full-on job. And now, with a little help from a local tradesman, it's finally finished.
I'm feeling so relieved. You?
Yeah. Relieved, but a bit more excited now than relieved.
Yeah, really excited. We've spent, a year getting to this point, and look at what we've achieved. It's fantastic. I'm really proud.
It's now mid-July. The big day is finally here. In a few hours, their first ever guests will arrive, but there's still a sizable to-do list.
That is my dust catcher. Nice and neat.
Andrew's got to put up a mirror. We've got to give the shower another clean over.
Yes.
Pop some hangers up. And get the welcome pack ready, so we're nearly there.
Sam and Andrew are aiming their 3-bedroom gîte at the luxury end of the market, so they've got high standards to meet.
Oh, tuck it in. Tuck it in.
Tuck what in?
That pillar thing.
With the guests' arrival imminent, will the next room pass muster?
Let's do the walk-in test.
What's the walk-in test?
Oh, it's floppy there.
Come on, you need to clean that up.
Yeah.
The house is now ready for their first ever guests.
All closed off and secure, so nice and private and contained for our guests who'll be arriving in 20 minutes. Ah!
There's one finishing touch remaining for their new pool.
It's taking forever.
going to be good when the guests turn up and covered in sweat. Hi!
I ain't doing that other one, that's for sure.
The couple have spent the last year completing the renovations Sam's late father started. They now have a stunning 3-bedroom home and a luxurious holiday cottage.
It's all a bit much now, isn't it? Because it's all happened, it's finished, and it's just amazing.
He'd be so proud of what we've both achieved, wouldn't he? It's just a shame he's not here to see it.
I think he would be really proud.
Finally, this holiday home is open for business.
You all right?
Hello.
How was your journey?
Oh, you too. I'm Sam.
I'm Andrew.
French way already.
Very much so, yeah.
Nice to meet you. This is your gaff then for the next week.
Wow, not bad.
That's a good reaction.
Yeah.
That's what we want. Yeah.
David and his wife Louise are holidaying with their 2 children and their partners. The family have paid over €1,100 to stay for a week in the 3-bedroom gîte.
So can I get anyone a drink? Glass of champagne? Yeah.
Why not?
Really hot.
Incredible, absolutely incredible. I mean, the quality of the build that they've done is amazing, and I mean, the view itself really is a picture postcard.
Well, happy holidays.
Yeah, cheers guys, welcome.
We was hoping for a good reaction, but
That was
just
absolutely
like,
fantastic. Fantastic group of people, lovely family. And they were just
Can't
so
stop
pleased
grinning.
with the place.
I know.
David even said we've excelled ourselves, so
Job well done.
I'm so happy.
It's an emotional climax to what's been a difficult journey for Sam and Andrew.
Let's do a cheers to my dad as well.
Yeah.
Cheers to Dad. Cheers.
On the Costa Blanca, ex-soldier Joe Reed is desperately trying to get his dream paragliding business off the ground in one of the most beautiful parts of Spain.
So here we are, Agost. Alicante over in the distance there, you've got the Mediterranean, and you've got this nice little ridge line which is really good for soaring, for the pilots. It's just an experience never to be forgotten.
The business will be run from Joe's home. His office, a sun-drenched patio. It's now the start of the tourist season and he needs to hit the road.
I'm just basically going to see if the van starts now. Every now and then it starts, but then in the mornings, if it's been running, maybe it'll start for the next hour or so.
Joe needs his van to ferry customers to and from the paragliding site.
Fingers crossed. No, it's not going to start. Come on. Nah, I don't think it's going anywhere, is it? Right, I'll give it a push, I think. Nah, it's not going to happen, is it? Nearly give myself a hernia then.
Joe's plan B is to reverse the van and hope to jumpstart it on the hill. But it's ready, steady, stop.
There's no power steering, even though the engine's running. So, success, I'm not sure. For me, because I don't really know that much about it, it's like a computer. If you have a fault with it, you just turn it off and put it back on, and it normally sorts the problem out. So I'm kind of hoping it could be the problem here. So I'm going to turn it off now and try and start it again.
Joe decides to give it one last try. If it doesn't start now, he'll have to arrange a tow.
Thank God that started. You know, that was starting to get to me then, you know? It was going to go too far.
At last, Joe is on his way to the garage, but it's only when his van gets fixed that he'll be able to see his business up and running. So for now, Joe is back to relying on his wife for an income.
It's a nightmare, really. I mean, I need the van. I've got clients waiting. Someone messaged me this morning wanting to paraglide. I'll have to find out now if they've got their own transport. It's just, yeah, it's just annoying. We'll just have to suck it and see. There's nothing I can do. It's completely out of my hands.
Joe can't afford to hire another vehicle, so he'll just have to wait for the garage to fix his van. So for now, it's back to the street to promote his paragliding. Hopefully this will mean he can hit the ground running. Puy-l'Evêque, situated in the Midi-Pyrénées. It's here where Sam and Andrew Ledwith are starting their new lives running their own holiday accommodation.
I've got some wire that we can nail in at the top to guide them up.
I like that we can nail in. You and me.
You're tall.
It's 7 days since their first ever guests arrived, and today is another big occasion. Because as one set of guests leave, they need to prepare for the next to arrive.
It's been a fantastic week, hasn't it?
Yeah, brilliant week. We've been sort of buzzing all week from Saturday.
Our first guests have been amazing, haven't they? They've just been so
nice. It's
lovely,
nice,
just
genuine
lovely
people.
Really good group of people. It's just been a pleasure to have stay with us, really, haven't they?
But having never worked in hospitality before, have Sam and Andrew been able to pull off their new careers as holiday hosts?
Oh, it's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Too short, but other than that, great. Yeah, had a fabulous time. Recommend it to anybody. Really would. We'll come back, definitely.
Oh,
it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, pleasure meeting you.
It's the best feedback they could have hoped for. The promise of returning customers and a glowing review will help to put their business on the map.
I feel like my mum. I feel like I should say, give us a ring when you get in. Make sure you're all right. Au revoir. Until next time.
Good luck with everything.
That's the extent of my French.
There's no time for sentiment. The gîte is booked up throughout the summer and their next guests are due in a matter of hours.
Today is all about getting ready for our next guests.
Yeah,
So plenty of cleaning.
Yeah. You ready?
Yeah.
You got your rubber gloves?
And Andrew's thought of a sweetener to speed up the process.
Hopefully a bit of time by the pool then, if we get it all right.
Well, yeah, if we do.
That's our reward. That's our incentive today then.
Yeah.
Smash it out, get around the pool.
Brilliant.
It's all hands to the pump so they can finally get to enjoy the pool they've worked so hard on.
Would you mind hoovering this as well? Please.
Right, bossy.
I think I'm more particular about my cleaning than Andrew is. I'm a bit of a perfectionist.
We set the standard on the first one, so it's got to be that same standard every week, so I couldn't think of anything worse myself to go into somewhere on holiday and it's dirty.
Andrew?
Yo!
Would you mind helping me with something, please?
Was it some sort of bug?
Yeah.
Come here, little fella.
Try not to kill him.
Oh! No, don't. Now don't come back.
You're free!
Well done.
Every time. Yeah, busy morning.
Yeah, we finished our first changeover, which went really well. Well done.
Yeah.
And as the weather's beautiful, we're
Blue
going to...
skies today, so we're going to make the most of it before the guests get here, the next set of guests, and have a little splash around the pool, aren't we?
Bit of relaxation.
It's been a great start to the season for Sam and Andrew. Now they just need to keep it up. The stunning vineyards of southwest France.
Which side are you doing?
I'll do anywhere, you know me, I'll just get in the way.
It's here where English expats Rob and Steve are risking their life savings to give the locals a run for their money by producing their own top quality wine.
It's been able to touch and feel and just kind of stop and just enjoy what's around you.
You sound like a hippie, Rob.
Today there's another first for these two winemakers, bottling 2,500 litres of last year's Côte de Bordeaux.
Bonjour, monsieur. Bonjour, monsieur. Ça va?
This has to be done on site, so they've hired a mobile machine that will bottle the wine.
Oui.
They've got a mammoth task ahead with 3,500 bottles to be filled.
Okay.
But there's no sign of Rob.
I'm the one that supposedly takes a long time in the shower, but I don't know. We'll see.
Job 1, installing the mobile bottling plant in the recently renovated tasting room.
It's a new concrete floor, so I don't want it damaged.
Good morning, people.
But at least Rob's arrived to lend a hand.
I'm the slow getter-upper, so I'm told. Leave it there. I think least said the better.
And thankfully, the long-awaited bespoke corks have also turned up.
Corks arrived 6:30 last night, so a few kind of heart murmurs later, we were all right, so that's good.
Get this right, and Rob and Steve could add thousands of euros to the pot. So to give them the best chance of success, wine consultant Serge is on site to offer top tips.
He speaks a little English. Tu parles un petit anglais.
Tout petit peu, little English.
Which makes our communication absolutely flawless, because we kind of speak such good French, and his English is perfect. We have no problem communicating, ever.
The wine has been kept in this huge vat for the last 18 months. It's now ready to drink. But they need to bottle quick, otherwise it could spoil.
A moment of truth.
The floor! I hope he's paying for that. Bottle's gone in there.
Each bottle is worth 80 euros. With funds tight, every drop counts.
The wine tasting room is inaugurated with a spillage of wine.
Final checks complete.
We have liftoff.
Let the filling and corking of 3,500 bottles begin.
It's really nice when you see it like this. Even better when it's sold.
But as Steve worries about the profit, Rob's drinking it.
This is purely technical. At 9:10 in the morning, you do not normally have a glass of red wine. You normally drink it straight from the bottle.
C'est meilleur ça, en France.
I ain't got a clue what that was.
While Rob is on quality control, perfectionist Steve's on packing.
It's really important how you stack these cases. If you don't stack them right, the weight of them as they become higher and higher in the cases can break the bottles underneath.
As the bottles pile up, it really is all hands to the pump.
That's what comes to drinking at 9:10 in the morning.
At the end of the day, 3,500 bottles have been filled without any mishaps. Or maybe not.
Hey! Scratched all the floor up. It's coming out your wages, you know that.
You do feel proud that you've kind of gone from a total novice to actually producing something.
So the next step is to get them all labelled up and looking beautiful, ready for sale.
And try and get them out there.
And that means heading to a local market.
À votre santé.
Bon courage.
À la santé du Clos Vieux Rocher.
Oui, oui.
Where their basic French is really going to be put to the test. Former soldier Joe Reed is trying to set up a paragliding business on the Costa Blanca.
Once I'm flying people, I thoroughly love it. I love it so much.
But he's recently hit turbulence because the van he uses to take clients up into the mountains has been out of action.
I've committed everything. I got some savings. I've put all that money into it already. And even my wife, she's committed to it 100% as well, because she's the breadwinner at the moment, and she's got enough faith in this to allow me, if you like, to put all I've got into this.
Joe's budget can't stretch to hire a replacement van, so instead he's been spending his time promoting the business. And now, after weeks of waiting, Joe's people carrier has finally come home.
We've got her back. She's at the garage. She's been in there for about 4 weeks and she's like a brand new van.
Fixing it cost over €1,000, so he's now got to get customers quickly. As luck would have it, a booking has come in.
Tomorrow we've got 5 people flying in our Agos location, so I really needed the van back, and thank God I got it back yesterday. So still quite short notice, but I had to do it. I had to take the risk, and hopefully it'll pay off. I just got to hope for the weather's going to be all right, because the wind's starting to come from a different direction because it gets a little bit stormy with the hot weather out here.
It's the next day. Joe has 5 customers booked in for a flight. But if the wind isn't right, he could miss out on the €450 fee.
Some people want to go there and want to fly straight away, but it's not like that. This is paragliding, you've got to appreciate the weather. It's a little bit too turbulent at the moment, so it's up to you. Have a drink here, chill, relax. You can go for a walk around the town, do whatever you want to do.
It's late afternoon, and thankfully the news is good. The air turbulence has dropped and holidaymakers Sebastian and Benjamin are about to take their maiden flight.
I wasn't nervous at the start of this day, but when I came up here, I could feel my fingers tingling. So.
Count down.
Okay, first of all, the pilot will be stood behind you, okay? You're going to feel a tug. When he brings the chute up above him, you'll feel pressure pulling you backwards.
Okay.
When you feel that pressure, you've got to step back with it. Don't fight it, okay? So just step back, okay? And then you want to keep looking forward at all times, okay? And then what you'll hear from the pilot is when he's ready, he'll want you to start running, okay? So all you need to do is listen to the pilot. And when he says run, or corriere, run, then you just run in that direction, okay? But most importantly, have fun and enjoy it, okay, man? The chute's come up now.
At last, after so many weeks of waiting and hoping.
Yeah, that's good. Run.
Woo! Joe's paragliding business has liftoff.
Even my heart's going. Amazing, eh? I want to be up there now, chomping at the bit. Good takeoff as well, fantastic. It's all going to plan.
We are flying!
But weather and van trouble means Joe's had a slow start to the season.
It's amazing. Very beautiful.
Will he be able to keep his dream business airborne? Next time.
Merci.
Will Sam and Andrew find a way to make their holiday business pay?
C'est bon. We've been living off our savings, haven't we? Which are coming to an end.
Can Steve and Rob
This takes coordination.
get their latest vintage to the fair on time?
What did it do then? Oh, you beggar! And we were going so well.
And after a rocky start,
We got caught in the tree.
can Joe keep his paragliding dreams alive?
That would be a big disappointment, having to go
God,
back
it'd
to
be
the UK.
devastating.
Could you imagine having to look for a job and be part of the rat race?
It's a dream chased by thousands of expats, setting up new lives in Europe.
It couldn't be any different than Scotland.
I feel like I've just been born.
There's great weather and property is amazing value.
Something like this in the UK would be well out of our reach.
But nothing in life is for free.
Look at that swimming pool. Wow.
Way too much money.
So to pay their way, enterprising expats are aiming high.
That was amazing.
And going into business.
I used that brilliantly.
On this series, we're with a new group of Brits.
Why couldn't we just have opened a flower shop?
Setting sail and serving up in Spain.
Always happy customers here.
Running fishing lodges and B&Bs in France.
Oh, door's not on.
But will business boom? Or go bust?
We are quite literally dead in the water.
And will these new expats find happiness in the sun?
So proud of you and what you're setting out to do.
Today,
Merci.
Will a young couple find a way to make their holiday business pay?
C'est bon. We've been living off our savings, haven't we? Which are coming to an end.
Can two winemaking rookies
This takes coordination.
get their latest vintage to the fair on time?
What did it do then? Oh, you beggar! When we were going so well.
And after a rocky start,
We got caught in the tree.
can this Spanish thrill seeker keep his dreams alive?
That would be a big disappointment, having to go
God,
back
it'd
to
be
the UK.
devastating,
Could you imagine having to look for a job and be part of the rat race?
The Midi-Pyrénées in the heart of rural France. With unspoilt countryside and wide open spaces. Deep gorges and hidden caves. And villages packed with character and history. The area is so varied and rich, there is always something new to discover. For those who love the great outdoors, there couldn't be a more perfect place to live.
You just got to look around and take it in. It's absolutely beautiful place.
And there is so
the
much to
scenery
offer.
is amazing.
Yeah.
There's not many places in the world that can beat this sort of scenery for me.
Sam and Andrew Ledwith moved to the village of Puy-l'Evêque last year to turn this stunning farmhouse into a holiday home. The property had belonged to Sam's dad, but sadly he passed away before he could fulfil his dream of running a business in France.
When we got married, we was sat in one of the local restaurants in the vineyards, and we had a chat about, you know, what could we do? It'd be great if we could move out here and make a life.
But it was a bit of a dream, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was always a sort of a pipe dream, and then on the sad occasion when your dad did pass away, that opportunity wasn't such of a dream then, it's sort of a reality. Well, this could actually happen.
They've also renovated this home to live in themselves, a far cry from the semi they rented in Leicester. This whole property could cost well over £1 million back home.
The view, it's just waking up in the morning and it's that outstanding view. It's like you've never seen it before. It's just stunning.
Just at the bottom watching a deer run around and play with his young. It's just, well, where we lived in the UK, we'd never have that, would we?
No.
It's now the middle of summer and they're hosting the Stewart family from Preston.
This is our first time in France, so it was really appealing to come here where we had Sam and Andrew that were an English couple. So yeah, we're loving it and having them here is great.
It's got a really nice mix. The location, the weather's been fantastic. Sam and Andrew have been really good hosts as well.
When the sun is shining, the pool is a great draw for the guests. But the summer season is short. In fact, even if fully booked, this sheet will only bring in €10,000 this summer. It's not enough to make this a viable business.
We've finished the renovations. It's time to sort of look at what we're going to do next. We've been living off our savings, haven't we? Which are coming to an end. We've obviously got the income from the gîte for the summer season, but that won't see us through.
Yeah, it's not
for the rest
not sustainable, is it?
No.
The couple need to diversify.
Bon appétit.
Merci.
They've decided to capitalise on the region's amazing landscapes and gourmet food.
This is the life.
To create all-inclusive running and cycling breaks. The planning starts with the food.
That would be great if we could offer, an evening meal, breakfast. I love juicing and making
Juice of the day.
smoothies. Obviously, we'd set a price for this, and it's targeting a market which is kind of a luxury market in a sense, really, isn't it? So we've just got to put pen to paper and do a bit of pricing, really.
Sam and Andrew only want to serve up locally sourced produce to their guests.
Merci. That's delicious.
But they have no idea what to charge.
Bonjour.
Time for some market research. First on the list, rabbit terrine.
Looks really good.
How many would you serve that for?
I think you'd...
3?
Yeah.
They plan on serving this tasty terrine as a starter.
Merci, mon coco. Oh. So how much was it?
$5.90.
Right, so that's the rabbit terrine.
And another possible starter is locally farmed goat's cheese and honey.
Bonjour, je voudrais 3 rocamadours, s'il vous plaît. It's from Rocamadour, which is where they produce a lot of the goat's cheese around here. Merci. So how much was it?
$4.70.
We've got all the information we need so far for the first menu, so we can go back and price it all up.
Price it up. Start tasting as well.
Yeah, we're gonna have a super lunch.
Back home, first on the tasting menu is the rabbit terrine.
Got good flavour, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's quite rich. We've worked out that that will serve 4 people as a starter. So working that out, the price that we paid for it, which was $5.90, so that works out about €1.45 per person for a starter. So that's really good.
And after a quick sample of goat's cheese,
And that's really nice.
the couple have to work out what profit they could make.
The pricing is coming out at just under €100 per person, which is really good actually. That's the pricing for the raw ingredients for 5 nights for 3 people staying. So they'll have a continental breakfast and then a 3-course meal in the evening.
By charging people for breakfast and an evening meal, Sam and Andrew would see a sharp rise in their profits. Now, as their latest guests head home to the UK,
Thank you so much. It's been fantastic to meet you. Bye!
they have to persuade future guests to buy into the offer.
It's going to be quiet now, isn't it?
I know.
Spain is the 3rd most popular tourist destination in the world and welcomes nearly 70 million people a year. Each visitor has their own unique to-do list, whether it's sunshine and snorkeling or flamenco and fiesta. But there's no doubt many visitors are simply drawn to the beauty of the Spanish landscape. From the Jurassic limestone rocks of El Torcal in Andalusia to the cliffs and beaches of the Mediterranean coast. On the Costa Blanca, the views from the ground are stunning. But from the air, there's something else. It's views like this that have inspired the dreams of ex-soldier Joe Reed.
When I was in the army, I'd done a lot of paragliding, so I've always had a passion for it, but I've never been able to do anything with it. And I remember we were at a coffee shop, and I remember just thinking to myself, that's it.
Joe and his wife Jolene are desperate to capitalise on his passion.
How excited do you get when you watch somebody take off or land?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, because I've made that
like-
person take off and land, yeah.
But you've made their holiday because it's a lifelong dream or it's on somebody's bucket list.
But Joe's new paragliding business has had a turbulent start. A combination of van trouble and tricky weather has meant he hasn't got airborne.
I've committed everything. I got some savings, I've put all that money into it already. And even my wife, she's committed to it 100% as well, because she's the breadwinner at the moment, and she's got enough faith in this to allow me, if you like, to put all I've got into this.
And keeping faith has paid off.
You're going to be, the shoot's come up now.
In the beautiful Agost Mountains.
Yeah, that's good. Run.
Joe has just launched his first customer.
It's amazing. Very beautiful.
In this world, there's so many things that can get you down, but when you're up in the air, it's bliss.
For €90 each, these customers experience the Costa's most stunning views, stretching from the Med to the mountains. Each trip lasts up to 30 minutes before the pilots begin the descent.
Normally, I'd go down and get them if they're landing down at the bottom, bring the pilots back up, but they're going to try and top land.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Here we Sebastian, a perfect passenger.
But paragliding flights are at the mercy of the weather. It means not every liftoff ends with a smooth landing.
We got caught in the tree. We were doing fine, but then I guess we got a bit of wind. I don't know what happened with the landing.
A tree.
A tree.
In the end, weather conditions are close to perfect, and every one of Joe's customers has had a successful flight.
It was brilliant. A big experience. It was great.
It was awesome. Felt like a bird. I saw 2 rabbits, 1 eagle, 1 deer. Nah, it was pretty cool. I really enjoyed it.
Undescribable. I don't have words for it.
I think it went really well. Everybody flew. Everybody thoroughly enjoyed it. There was smiles all round. They had an amazing flight as well. I mean, they were well in the air for over 15 minutes each of them, so they definitely got their money's worth. So no, I'm over the moon with that. I just want it to be like this more often, you know. It will work. I'm going to make it work for sure, 100%. I love it too much.
But one successful paragliding session doesn't make a summer. A few weeks later, there is more bad news for Joe. The sun might be shining, but the wind conditions are unpredictable, meaning limited opportunities to fly.
We went up there was about 7 of us in total, and we had to cancel because the weather just wasn't as predicted.
Cancelling so many flights means Joe isn't making enough cash.
If I have to cancel for the weather, then the deposits always get paid back to them, because that's only fair, I think.
Without more clients, Joe's business will never survive. The Gironde department in southwest France. Home to some of the best restaurants the country has to offer. Michelin-starred chefs serve up traditional French delicacies. And the accompanying wine is some of the best in the world, produced by local vineyards.
Ice creams, 99.
It's here that former estate agents Rob Brimfield and Steve McMahon are taking a huge gamble by playing the French at their own game by producing their Côte de Bordeaux.
What's the worst thing can happen? You go bust. You go back home to England, don't you?
Rob and Steve have just taken over Clovier Rocher, a 20-acre vineyard.
Some of these are really long.
It cost them less than £500,000 and also includes 2 houses, outbuildings, and has the most amazing views.
Space is the thing. You can't have this space in England without £1 million checkbook.
It's now June and the couple have just 4 months until harvest. Having never owned a vineyard, this is a huge learning curve for them.
Seasoned professionals will probably whiz up in 5 minutes, but they have to question how thorough they are when doing it.
A lot of the work on the vines is quite therapeutic in a lot of ways. It's very touchy-feely and you feel as if you're part of the process, not just doing a job.
But as well as pruning their 2 hectares of vines, there's an added pressure. They're also renovating a dilapidated house into their new 2-bedroom home. But until it's ready, the couple are having to live in the old farmhouse.
Originally, we were meant to be moving everything from this house into that house. But as of yesterday afternoon, the floor wasn't finished, the stairs wasn't finished, fixed furniture wasn't finished, kitchen not finished.
In Spain, it's mañana, mañana. In France, it's bad problem.
Yeah.
Decorating the new home has now begun. And the bathroom has been fitted. Ooh, but there's a problem.
Just here is where we should have had or we will be having the roll top bath. But as it was all put together and the plumber went to connect it to the waste pipe, he noticed there was a crack on one side of the roll top. And we should have a new one here tomorrow, hopefully, fingers crossed.
We have a grunt and a groan, swear when nobody's listening, and then get on with it.
All this needs to be paid for, so now they need to sell some wine.
So we're just going to get a few hundred done today,
Last year's harvest has now been bottled, so today Rob and Steve are labelling the wine, ready to go to market.
This works not on self-adhesive labels like all the new labelling machines. This is good old-fashioned glue and a roller.
Steve and Rob have commissioned a new label design which they hope will mark them out from the crowd.
We've tried to keep it traditional but modernise it a little bit. We both got our opinions and we find something in the end that kind of...
Steve likes.
That Steve likes, yeah.
With the caps in position, let the labelling begin.
Keep the neat, please.
Keep it neat.
It's vital this wine looks as good as it tastes.
No. What did it do then? Oh, you beggar! When we were going so well. It's catching at the top.
It missed some.
Yeah, something ran a bit askew and it missed.
But thankfully, wine consultant Serge
Bonjour.
has come to their rescue.
Just missed the glue off the edge of them a little bit.
Après, ça tiendra. Si tu l'appliques avec le chiffon, ça tient.
Push button, hope for the best.
This takes coordination.
Despite a few hiccups, Rob and Steve managed to label an impressive 500 bottles of wine. And now a dozen will go to the local fete to promote their new business.
Hopefully gets people to see and taste your wine, and maybe if they want to buy more, they might come and visit us next time.
It's that sample, really. It's getting them to taste it and like it. People that like wine, in fact, they'll go and buy a case.
With the boxes stacked, it's now time to see if these two Englishmen can actually sell wine to a French market. Over on the Costa Blanca, paraglider Joe Reed may have had a successful maiden flight, but he's still not generating enough customers.
Personally, for us, what's on the line, I'd say maybe money and having to pack our bags and go back to the UK, disappointment and having to start a new life back in the UK. In fact, that would be a big disappointment, having to go back to the UK. Could you imagine having to look for a job and be part of the rat race?
But Joe isn't the type to sit crying into his gazpacho. He's determined to make his dream a reality, and today he has a great PR opportunity, a radio interview.
This is the Costa Blanca School FM, and this is brand new from Rick Astley.
Advertisement, advertisement, advertisement. I've got to snap their hand off as soon as I hear anything like this. If I can get on the radio, anything, I can't turn it down.
It's well outside Joe's comfort zone, though.
We just need quiet for 5 seconds. So, as I told you, this week's afternoon guest, I bring to you Joe from Outbound Adventures. Now, good afternoon, Joe.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, Joe. I'm very good indeed. Joe, you're looking a bit nervous. Don't be nervous.
But soon Joe's nerves settle and he rises to the challenge.
How did you ever get into paragliding?
Well, when I was back in the UK, I was in the army for 4 years in the Royal Engineers, and I'd done a fair bit of paragliding there, and straight away it got my heart.
Just about the army, did you have to do any tours or anything like that?
No, yeah, I'd done a tour of Iraq, Telek 12. I was on 6 months out there, yeah.
As soon as people hear about somebody being in the army, you automatically get that feel-good response, you know, oh, fair play to the lad, you know, and now he's starting up a business.
And by the end of the interview, Joe's been a hit.
Joe, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, likewise. It went really well. Ash made me feel at ease, and yeah, no, it was really good.
With luck, Joe's radio interview will be the perfect advert for his business.
Some people might be pushing themselves to their limits when they go paragliding. When I do that sort of thing, that's me pushing me to my limits. And that's how much I need this advertising, you know, I need to do it.
A few days later, and Joe's PR appears to be paying off. Today he's brought 2 customers up to the hilltops above Santa Pola. Tony Sim and his son Phil have been living on the Costa Blanca since 2003.
It's beautiful. We've been here 13 years now, and he grew up here. It's geared up beautifully for expats. The Spanish are very welcoming.
And today, after conquering his own nerves during the radio interview, Joe is going to have to help someone else.
He made me do it. Yeah, well, he's wanted to get rid of me for years, so he's going to cease his opportunity today.
Yeah, we're both well insured.
But the weather is far from perfect. There's heavy cloud and little wind to fly.
In Spain, when you do get these like clouds coming over, they do clear up like that, you know, and in half an hour it can be a completely blue sky. So yeah, I've just got to take it as it comes, really.
There's even a chance the flights might be cancelled altogether.
There's no point flying if you're just going to take off and land straight away.
Joe consults his Spanish pilot, Azir.
What do you think? No? Leave it?
Yeah.
Or...
It's possible to wait 1 hour.
Yeah.
There are other paragliders on the hill who decide to give it a shot, but their takeoffs are far from smooth.
We've been watching quite a few take off, and the nervy one was a guy and I don't know his daughter, and he got the canopy up, but he couldn't control it. Makes you feel a bit nervous when you're just about to go up for the first time.
And with so little wind, those who have been getting airborne have had very short flights of just a few minutes.
I think he's down. I think he's nearly down.
Almost down, isn't he? Yeah. But at least he has made for the beach bar, which
is... Finally, the weather improves enough for Joe and his pilot. He wants to give it a go.
Just watch all these lines here.
Tony volunteers to fly first, but it's obvious that conditions are far from perfect.
The paraglider before us has just gone halfway down the launch hill, and the canopy's collapsed, and in a bad way, and has just taken out the wind indicator. And that's where we're going next.
Joe and his pilots are experts, but with any extreme sport, there are risks. Will Joe's day end in triumph or disaster? In France, it's an important day for Rocky Vineyard owners Steve and Rob. The couple are busy packing boxes of their freshly bottled Bordeaux to take to a local fete.
We're having a Blue Peter moment. We're making one, and there's some we made earlier.
They need to promote their vintage to persuade people to visit the vineyard and buy their wine.
This is the one that was been in the barrels for 18 months.
But the French take wine very seriously. So Rob and Steve are heading down early to Puisigan to win the locals over.
Enjoy the day and get our wine tasted by as many people as we can.
Hold on, wait. Can we do that again? Come back. You go there.
That makes me look short now. That's not fair.
By helping erect stalls, there's an early chance to build relations.
Do you know how this goes together?
I haven't got a clue.
But even so, many hands do make light work.
Oui.
Don't they?
Un autre bar par ici. What they'll need me for is height. Watch your fingers. Roll in, men. This is very typical French. What could take 5 minutes takes half an hour.
The fete will kick off tomorrow.
Merci.
Then Rob and Steve will find out if they have what it takes to win over the local connoisseurs. It's the day of Puisigan's annual fete, a day when all the villagers come together to celebrate everything French. And today, amongst the locals, Brits Steve and Rob are eager to promote their wine.
Rob's going to get a spittoon.
Alongside is their #1 fan, wine consultant Serge.
It's good, yeah.
And you're supposed to go afterwards.
Amongst the wine, there's an array of artisan food to try, including cheeses and a local favourite, fresh oysters.
That was all right. It's all French, the produce is French, the people are French, you couldn't get any more French.
This is Rob and Steve's big chance to schmooze and, more importantly, promote their wine.
There's got to be a few variants of kind of similar to ours and some maybe not quite so good. There's going to be the odd one or two better. We will see as the day progresses.
But there's just one problem.
You like it? Good.
Hardly anyone speaks English.
Voilà, parce qu'il y a une chorale qui vient, c'est moi qui l'a fait venir de Bordeaux.
C'est très bien, non?
Côte de Castillon, en principe, c'est côté.
Petit plus.
Even with their basic French, Steve and Rob's wine is getting lots of interest.
Merci. I didn't schmooze. I was waiting for a reaction. I think it was a good reaction. You never know when they spit it out, whether they like it or not.
And now, finally, someone who can speak English. And it's the Carnival Queen.
I studied the wine and spirit selling.
That's Miss Santamillion. From her knowledge so far, she said it was really rounded, nice fruity flavour, and she really liked it.
C'est un petit peu tannique, un peu puissant. Moi, j'aime bien ces vins comme ça.
I think it's something that should have gone on the British curriculum, really, shouldn't it? Really, you could.
God, I'd do it. I'd go back to college.
Wine and spirit course.
And Steve's not one to miss out on a plug.
We can put on our advertising, endorsed by Miss Santamillion.
It's a good day. I think if we had a little bit more sunshine, we might have got a few more here. But it's like a lot of these events, you don't get a commercial return immediately. It's who pulls down the drive in a week, a month, 6 months' time. Oh, I saw you at the wine fair and I've come to pay you a visit, and they buy a case or two.
This has been a good chance for Steve and Rob to showcase their wine. Now they just need some customers to come to their vineyard. In the village of Puy-l'Evêque in the Lot Valley.
So, guests are going to be coming from this direction. So you want them to see the sign before they approach.
Sam and Andrew Ledwith are searching for ways to make their gîte stand out in a very crowded market.
Yeah!
Just for now.
Brilliant. Good work. Just offering a short break wasn't really enough. We need to entice people to come and do something that's interesting rather than just coming to the area.
Their plan is to offer all-inclusive running and cycling packages, and now there's a chance to test their idea.
So this is the gîte.
Lovely, really, really lovely.
Andrew's friend Harry has arrived from Chester for a 5-day stay.
And Harry, this is your room?
That is really, really fantastic, isn't it? The quality of the finish, every little detail has been thought of. It's beautiful, really, really beautiful.
But Harry's not just here for a relaxing break. He's here to check out the local routes with fellow keen cyclist Andrew. Cycling holidays guided by Andrew could be a lucrative idea, bringing in bookings throughout the year.
I'm really into like running and cycling. I've been out exploring just on my own in the trails, and you see all these hidden gems right on the doorstep. So it just made sense to me to put this in as part of the business.
I guess there's a lot of the valley you've not explored yet either, isn't there?
There's loads to explore, and I've only scratched a little bit of it.
The Lot-et-Garonne is an untapped biking paradise. Miles and miles of quiet roads pass through unspoilt countryside and bastide towns. There are routes to suit the most experienced and novice cyclists.
Andrew's a great tour guide on the way, and it's just perfect. Like, the weather's gorgeous, there's hardly anyone around. What more could you want?
We are onto something over here with the cycling holidays, so to hear that's really pleasing. Go on then, let's get back.
Let's go.
He's already left me.
This is great feedback. Cycling breaks could keep the gîte busy in colder months. And now they're on a roll.
Très bon, très bien.
The other idea, you're a keen runner, so how about marathon training fantastic terrain for trail running.
Like I say, it's on the doorstep, so it's crazy not to utilise it.
It's a few weeks later and another fitness fanatic has checked in. Andy from Hampshire.
Stunning, really. I mean, not only the views, but just the way they've kitted it out. Made it, and it's a home from home too. You still feel really welcome here.
Andrew and Sam have discovered their latest guest is a keen runner. It's another perfect chance to check out their business idea.
Because you were saying earlier about you do a lot of running.
Yeah, I do. I'm not too bad. Not too bad at all.
So it'd be great to sort of get some feedback, really.
Go out for a leg stretch and see how we take
if you can wait for me.
The run begins in nearby Castelfranc,
I'll let you dictate the pace.
a pretty town steeped in history.
Steady as you go, it's quite rocky. This is part of a walking route, and it's all signposted on the trees. So next stage for me was to put the trainers on and go exploring and get lost along the way, and that's where you find little gems like this one, because the actual walking route takes us up to the left, but we're going to come up to the right and get the vantage point.
It's a hard hill to overcome. But the reward at the top is worth it.
What happened to that then? It's a few and a half, isn't it?
That's brilliant.
We want to cater for all abilities, so I think today it's a short hill, but it's a tough hill, isn't it? So I would sort of grade the distance and the difficulty of terrain as well.
I think the reward of the view is worthwhile. I think you could get all sorts of people up here.
Make the easy descent down.
Make our way down.
Yeah.
Just
this is the fun part.
Okay.
Yeah.
After 2 successful trials, Sam and Andrew have decided to throw everything at these all-inclusive breaks.
It's very important that this business is a success.
Work or bust, isn't it? We're not millionaires, we're not here to retire, we're here to work, aren't we?
Yeah, we need an income to survive. We're young, we're energetic, we're ambitious, so what's not going to work?
We can do it.
But will they get any takers? And will this couple be able to pull off their grand plan? Joe Reed has brought 2 paragliding customers to the hills of Santa Pola for their very first flights. But a lack of wind has meant father and son Tony and Phil have had to wait to take off.
It's possible to wait 1 hour.
Yeah.
Now though, the wind has picked up and Tony is ready for his briefing.
How are you feeling? Nervous?
Oh yeah.
Is your heart going?
Oh yeah.
Good, that's what we want.
No sitting. No sitting. Just run.
No jump, only run.
Only running. Yeah.
Equipment checked, nerves settled.
The most important thing is don't hesitate when you're running. You've got to go 100%. Yeah, 100% committed.
He's good. He's good. He's really reassuring me.
Okay. You're going to get pulled back now, just step by step. That's it. Good. Run. Keep running. Keep running. Come on.
But it looks like Tony could be running to the bottom of the hill.
Oh well.
Until suddenly, he has liftoff.
Terrific. Oh. This is one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life.
Tony's flight lasts nearly half an hour and completely takes his breath away.
Sensational. That was the most exciting thing I've ever done in my life. When you get that lift off for the first time, and then suddenly you're all the way up there, and then you, I mean, how high we got.
With 1 down and 1 to go, Joe breathes a sigh of relief.
I thought it could have been a dead day as such. When we came up to begin with, there wasn't much wind at all, but the forecast was due to pick up. But I'm glad that we got flying.
Tony's son Phil is next, and he's keen to prove anything his dad can do, he can do better. But the weather takes a turn for the worse. The wind drops, and soon Joe and Tony have lost sight of Phil's paraglider.
Can't see them, they're way around the corner. Every now and then you see a sail or canopy lift above the houses.
I just hope they're not down the bottom.
And it seems Joe's hunch was right.
They've landed down the bottom. I've just got a message, so I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Phil's flight has come to a very abrupt end.
Well, he's alive, so...
That's good. It was a short flight, about 5 minutes. Yeah.
Very horrified.
I've got some more wounds as well from the landing.
Joe isn't the type to let his customers go home disappointed, so invites Phil to come back again for free.
That means you'll have to do it again. And if you do it again, I suppose I'm going to have to drag myself along with you.
Yeah.
Joe's offer of a free flight has won him another booking, and it's made him more determined. His office might be the sun-drenched patio at home, but there's rarely time for a break.
Tomorrow I've got 3 people flying in Agost. I'm meeting them in the afternoon at 3:30. So yeah, I'll just quickly give them a quick call. Hello, Joe speaking. Hello, how are you?
And by the end of the call, tomorrow's booking has gone from 3 people to 5.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Woo, perfect.
For Joe and his business, the wind seems to be blowing in the right direction.
Hopefully I can pull through it all and just get the business to a point where I can live off it, you know.
But will the weather scupper this lucrative turn of events? Wine tourism in France is big business. Some 24 million tourists a year visit the wine regions, checking out the local vineyards. It's a market new winemakers Steve and Rob want to corner.
Every barrel will impart a different flavour, so we're just checking that every one of the barrels is of equal standard.
Since arriving in France, wine consultant Serge has been teaching the couple how to evaluate wine through taste, colour and aroma.
This one's different.
It has got that little bit of extra oakiness.
Oui, et plus fermé. Le nez est plus fermé. La couleur, tout.
I'm going to have to stop there.
Yeah.
Because I know what's going to happen.
In a competitive market, it's important to check out your rivals. So today they're heading 10 kilometres down the road to Chateau Bronzac, a vineyard which also produces a red wine.
Oh wow,
that's good.
They also offer tours on horseback as a way of diversifying their business.
We're going to be taking, I believe, these 2 out for a hack through the vines. We're both quite confident and relatively competent riders, aren't we, really?
Well, we used to be.
We used to be, yeah.
This is a great chance for Rob and Steve to see if their own vineyard matches up to a rival's.
And you see it as a completely different perspective to how you would normally. Wonderful view here, isn't it?
It is superb.
Incredible.
It's really good round Castillon because you've got all the undulations where some of the wine growing areas are really flat, but round here you've got the hills and the valleys, so it really gives you a nice contoured scenery.
Good to see the state of everyone's vineyard, isn't it? And how
definitely,
far we are compared to other people.
Most of them have had their second haircut and I've still got to do some on ours, haven't we? Oh yeah, I think this has got to be a weekly treat, isn't it? Let's grab a couple of horses and go through the vines for an hour, would be good.
But the tour's not over yet. Now Rob and Steve have the chance to have a snoop at how their neighbours produce their wine.
Bonjour, monsieur.
Bonjour.
On peut s'avancer si vous
voulez. Oui, oui.
Ah oui, oui.
Parfait. Merci. But they got a few more barrels than us.
Not many more.
No, a few.
Bernard took over this vineyard in the 1980s. There's even a little museum.
This, we have lots of this sort of equipment, but we still use ours.
So what's the verdict?
Very nice.
Yes,
very nice.
Very good.
Well, I speak very well English.
Yes, you do.
You know the right English words.
Yes, I think we'll take a bottle or two. We had kind of said we were going to buy a bottle, but he gave it us as a gift.
Kindly gave them to us, yes.
And wished our luck with our winemaking endeavours.
Bon courage.
And would like to taste ours, so we'll drop him a bottle in.
And this trip has given them food for thought about their own tours.
We could see the parallels to our own place. I think their wine was a very good standard and they made us very welcome, but...
We can do better.
And here's their chance to prove it. There's an unexpected visitor at home.
Be back in a second. Just going to open the door and let you in the front.
Irish holidaymakers Eva and Kevin heard about the vineyard in town.
Please, come on in. It's not as tidy as normal because you probably noticed we're in the middle of renovation.
And it's straight down to business.
It's a 2014. It's had 18 months in the barrel. So we call it our special reserve because we've got one that's had 12 months in and this one's had 18 months. Obviously, as it ages a little bit, that brightness will start to go off and it'll get a little bit richer in colour, goes a bit deeper and darker. You should kind of get some quite woody fruits off there, dark berries and that, you should kind of get that.
And it seems those winemaker lessons are paying off.
Maybe we'll try 12 of the...
12 of that one and 6 of that one.
The visitors purchase 18 bottles, so that's over €100 in the bank.
That's perfect. Thank you very much. It's one of the attractions of calling to a place like this. For the English person, you can talk to them more freely and they can explain it quite clearly. And I think it seems a very exciting project here, you know. So there's no reason it shouldn't do well for them.
And the wine was very nice.
Yeah.
We'll be back again.
Yes.
At last, 2 happy customers and winemakers to boot.
You did a really good job there.
No, we did.
They were very interested.
Team effort.
You can just wobble gob for the world.
Yeah, but it's got to be factual. It's got to be entertaining.
They felt compelled because you never shut up.
It was the only way to shut me up, was it? Buy some wine.
It may only be a few bottles, but when you're a new winemaker with a house to complete, every drop counts. Next time.
I forgot to go to the baker's this morning and pick up the bread.
Can a 3-course feast give Sam and Andrew's guest house a new lease of life?
We've got the summer season, but we need the income throughout the whole season.
It's now 20 to 7. I don't think we're going to eat till about 8.
A VIP visit for a new fishing business.
He's going to come, write a review and give us his honest opinions.
But will they cut it?
What can possibly go wrong?
And Rob and Steve finally enjoy the fruits of their labour.
We bought a dump, didn't we?
We did. I think we saw something that others didn't, and now we've cleared it, we've got the benefit of it.
A new life in Europe, a dream chased by thousands.
I don't really think you can better it.
It's just amazing living in Spain.
With sunny days and a great way of life, it's easy to see why. But this doesn't come for free.
To come up with that money out of thin air is quite difficult.
So to fund this life,
Oh my God.
expats are setting sail
He's out. He's gone.
and setting up businesses.
There's mushrooms growing on the wall.
Okay.
On this series, we follow a fresh group of expats.
Every day's like this at the minute, it's just non-stop.
Yes!
Launching paragliding and restaurants in Spain.
I think there's a future in this for us.
B&Bs and villas in France.
Look at that, like a Ferrari toilet.
But will it be profitable?
There was a lot of happy people here.
Or simply painful?
I want a piece of Spain, not a piece of Chernobyl.
And can the new expats really make their new life in the sun pay?
Have I got the job?
Yeah, you got the job.
Today,
I forgot to go to the baker's this morning and pick up the bread.
Can a 3-course feast give this French guest house a new lease of life?
We've got the summer season, but we need the income throughout the whole season.
It's now 20 to 7. I don't think we're going to eat till about 8.
A VIP visit for a new fishing business.
He's going to come, write a review and give us his honest opinions.
But will they cut it?
What can possibly go wrong?
And novice winemakers get to enjoy the fruits of their labour.
We bought a dump, didn't we?
We did. I think we saw something that others didn't, and now we've cleared it, we've got the benefit of it.
The Costa Blanca, southeast Spain, a dream destination for sun worshippers. As most of Northern Europe freezes in winter, here you can pretty much guarantee warmth with more than 300 days of sunshine per year. For those who love the great outdoors, there couldn't be a more perfect place to live. One couple enjoying the delights of this al fresco way of life is Joe Reed and his wife Jolene.
Can you remember when we were in the UK? And overnight, we always used to struggle for things to do to keep ourselves occupied.
Yeah.
And all we'd do is sit inside and watch telly. Compared to what you can do here, every single night, you could just go for a walk and be happy.
It's sociable here. You can go out and socialise more.
Yeah.
The weather, obviously.
Yeah. That's what I love so much about Spain, being outside.
Joe runs a paragliding business here.
Run, 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 run.
And now he's approaching a critical time. Jolene is a professional singer, and it's August, the 1 month when her much-needed income drops.
It does go quiet because you get a lot of the Spanish tourism here as opposed to the English tourism, because obviously the flights go up because all the children are off school.
Luckily, after a push on social media, Joe's getting more bookings.
I'm getting more and more people wanting to fly because I think the videos that I've been making, that I've been putting on Facebook, it's so beautiful here. I mean, you can see for yourself. It's an amazing place to fly.
But that means his customer service skills are now being put to the test. Today's first client is Kyle, a nervous teenager who's holidaying with his granddad, Dennis.
I know when I woke him up this morning, it was very tense. And he'd been a bit like that on the way down. But I think once he's in the air, I think he'll be all right.
Yeah.
Because he's not finding the bites.
To make things trickier, customer 2 is French tourist Sebastian, who was given this trip as a birthday present. Trouble is, he doesn't speak a word of English.
We've been talking through email. I've been using Google Translate, and we've talked quite a lot because they originally asked for a French-speaking pilot, and I've got one, but he's away in Switzerland at the moment.
So giving instructions could be a little tricky.
It adds to the fun, you know, multinational. It's good. Pick up a little bit of French along the way. Bonsoir. Perfect, spin around.
Teenager Kyle is the first into his harness. But things don't get off to a smooth start.
Un momento, c'è problema con la camera.
Supplying his customers with video footage is all part of Joe's package.
He's going a little bit loco.
So he needs to get the camera working again, and fast.
No, it's not working, I don't know.
Joe decides to switch to his spare camera.
That's good. Stay on your feet, get ready to start running. Un momento, muy rápido.
But now the backup has a fault.
I think it's the heat. I'm not going to lie to you, I think it's the heat.
But it's not the heat. It's the memory card that Kyle brought to go in the camera. Luckily, Joe's got a backup card too.
You can have this one for free, mate. Don't worry about it. There you go. Right, let's get it in.
All the delays have made a nervous Kyle even more jittery.
Just relax. It's always the same. The thought of actually doing something is always worse than actually doing it. You know what I mean?
Joe's calm attitude seems to have done the trick, but there's another hitch. They've lost the wind and Kyle is now on the verge of pulling out.
I thought he'd get it over with quick and that was it, but it's all this waiting, isn't it? I feel all tensed up for him myself. I know he is, I can tell by his face.
To add to Joe's troubles, the delays and the midday sun are sapping the patience of his French customers too.
Are you okay here? You have everything? Yeah? Okay, is the sun too much?
Too much.
It's too much, you need some shade. A lot of people sit in the bushes for shade. if you want to sit out of the sun, just over there.
Joe's relaxed, having faced weather issues all season, but his customers are clearly on edge.
It used to bother me a lot because you see people waiting around like that and they're like, I just want to fly. But when you get them in the air and they land, everything's forgotten about. So you've got to take them being a little bit, you know, with a pinch of salt.
But for all his calmness, unless things change quickly, Joe could lose his clients and end up almost €200 out of pocket. The southwest of France is without a doubt a food lover's paradise. Warm climates and rich soils create world-class produce like the cantaloupe melon and the famous black truffle.
Wow.
The area is also known for its cheeses like Rocamadour, produced since the 15th century in the stunning mountainside village of the same name. It's here that Brits Sam and Andrew Ledwith are savouring all that France has to offer.
No greasy burgers, no sausages, local produce. So got the famous Rocamadour goat's cheese. So try that one out.
There's not many places in the world that can beat this for me. Pork's lovely.
Fantastic food, lots of local foods to try, which are, you know, delicious. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful part of the world.
Sam and Andrew opened their new business 2 months ago after completing renovations started by Sam's late father. They've created a stunning home for themselves, which includes luxury bathrooms, a large farmhouse kitchen, and overlooks 12.5 acres of their own land. They've also renovated a 3-bed, 2-bathroom guest suite. The whole plot could be valued at around €350,000, a third of what it would be in the UK.
This is normally Andrew's job, but as he's gone to the airport, I'll take over.
But to make ends meet, they need to diversify to attract guests all year round. So today they're launching their new deluxe all-inclusive running and cycling packages.
The package includes breakfast, evening meals, planned routes. So Andrew's gone out and put some routes together. We've got maps and everything to give the guests to show them the different routes, the terrain, the elevation.
Their first package guests are members of Andrew's old running club. They booked for 3 days after spotting an ad on social media.
Hey! Hi, ladies.
How are you?
Yeah, good, you? French, very French. Bonjour. Bonjour.
As the maiden guests, Bev and Helen are paying a special rate of €300.
Hi! Yeah, good, thanks. You look really well.
Oh, thank you.
This includes dinner, bed and breakfast, and some guided runs.
I already don't want to go home.
Here's the pool.
I think there's quite a lot of running to be had in the area, straight from your front door, so it looks like we're in for a treat with some of the scenery we've already seen.
Tonight, Sam and Andrew are cooking their first ever evening meal for guests.
Tables all laid. I've printed off a menu so everyone knows what they're getting this evening. We've just got to cook the main course. The starters are rabbit terrine, so that's all ready. We just need to present it.
But they've not got off to the best start. Sous Chef Andrew's already letting the side down.
I forgot to go to the baker's this morning and pick up the bread.
We're improvising with wholemeal bread, which we're going to toast. You need a bit of bread with a terrine. You won't make that mistake again, will we?
Hopefully not.
And these two novices are also running behind schedule.
It's now 20 to 7. I don't think we're going to eat till about 8. It's all a learning curve.
Finally, 45 minutes later than intended, dinner is served.
Come in. Evening.
Welcome to our restaurant.
Something smells wonderful.
It does, amazing.
Right, so this is the rabbit terrine. It's a bit of regional produce for you to try. Right, well, cheers everyone. Welcome. It's lovely to have you here.
But there's still something missing.
Forgot to serve the toast, didn't we, with our starter. Never mind, I can have that for my breakfast now.
I've never had rabbit before, but it was really lovely.
Really good.
Though these guests seem okay, those paying a full rate may not be as forgiving.
They're really hot.
Can Sam rescue it with the main of local pork and dauphinoise potatoes?
Plate's hot, yeah, so be careful.
Wow. So this is the first time you've cooked for this?
Yeah. So
that's nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of practice.
You've
You've done a brilliant job. Lovely. Really lovely.
Hang on a minute.
I hope you enjoy it.
Eating it all and testing
Cut all
it
the
out.
potatoes.
Well done.
Even though they've cheated with a shop-bought dessert,
Famous walnut tart.
Sam and Andrew's culinary debut has been a success.
It was fantastic.
No, for me personally, that was just right.
Result? Happy with that.
But with a full 2 days of exercise ahead, will these athletes be impressed with the running routes? The southwest of France, one of the most important wine regions in the world, producing some 270 million bottles of wine a year. And they're all lovingly grown and harvested on beautiful vineyards, creating truly spectacular landscapes for visitors and locals alike.
And you look out over the countryside over here, it's so beautiful.
Steve McMahon and Rob Brimfield moved to France last year to follow their dream of a life in the sun by running a 20-acre vineyard
God, I'm so macho.
near Saint-Emilion.
Wake up, smile, look out and say, that's mine. Well, half of it, because the other half's his.
As well as the wine business, Steve and Rob are renovating their own dream home.
I presume this is my job to pick up.
You don't take it away, it goes through the window.
While renovations continue, Rob and Steve are still living in the run-down farmhouse next door, and it's beginning to take its toll.
This is our self-storage room. So everything in here is stuff that we've either purchased here for the renovations or it's stuff from England that's waiting to find a home.
I should be living in here really, because I'm waiting to find a home.
Their new home is slowly coming together, but Rob and Steve are still a couple of weeks off moving in.
As the house gets empty of everyone, you can actually see little bits that might need just touching up and tweaking, and we can do those before we truly move in this time.
We could do things like putting up curtain rails and stuff like that, but there's so much dust in the air when people are working. It seems pointless.
Hey, we've been in here 7 months. Another couple of weeks isn't going to hurt, is it?
Oh, I can't stand it any longer.
These renovations are costly, and though Rob and Steve have had some success promoting their wine locally, a big deal from a wine merchant would be the icing on the cake. And now they have a huge opportunity, one which will allow them to promote their wine on an international scale. The Bordeaux Wine Festival is one of the biggest wine fairs in the world. There are over 2 kilometres of stands with over 500,000 visitors, including wine merchants.
Lovely, isn't it?
Nice, yeah.
Rob and Steve are hoping today will reap rich rewards.
Take 2. Take 6, actually.
I'm going to say 4 for now. Let's hope it's well received and a little bit of publicity to get a few people to pop and visit us down at the actual vineyard and maybe buy a few cases over the coming weeks.
Rob and Steve have a 4-hour slot to promote their wine at one of the stands, so there's no time to waste.
It's the only reason we're here, really.
But this is proving challenging.
Rob, I can't open this. Ah, this is not good. Rob, this isn't working.
What's wrong, Steve?
That's it.
Problem solved. Now they can get on with pushing their brand, hopefully to a visiting merchant.
This
It's your wine.
Yeah.
It's your wine.
This is fruity.
Yeah.
Good de fruit. Somewhat.
That's the whole idea of coming, really, is to be a little bit kind of pushy. You know, you want people to see it and try it and give it a go.
This is mon vin. Even though it's my wine, I'd recommend it.
Okay, so I will try.
Very good.
There's plenty of takers, but how has Rob and Steve's vintage gone down with this knowledgeable crowd?
Full-bodied, I'd say, but I mean, I'm not an expert, but very full-bodied and nice, yeah.
This is us, Clavier Rocher.
I genuinely think it's the best red wine that I've tasted here today.
Enjoy your day. Thank you.
These sort of events are really hard to actually calculate the real benefit, and the benefit can come in, you know, next week, next month, next year. Let's just hope it's kind of popped into enough people's minds and it's going to sit there for a later date.
And then, a few weeks later, comes the call Rob and Steve had been hoping for.
We've been having a little chat with a fairly well-known wine merchant in the UK, and they've said, please send us some samples. So they're obviously interested in trying both of our vintages, and with the hopes that they'll want to put it on their shelves.
Interest from a UK outlet in just a few months is huge progress for Rob and Steve. One deal can be the difference between fortune and failure. Their dream of making a success of their new business in the sun is getting closer every day. The Charente in southwest France has many benefits, including a great climate with average summer temperatures at least 5 degrees warmer than the UK. But what draws many expats to the region is the amount of land you can purchase for a fraction of what it costs in the UK. In the southwest of France, the average price per acre is £3,500. In England, it's £10,000.
3-bedroom property on the edge of the Dordogne, overlooking the Charente, nice and private. It's currently on the market at €295,000.
Brits love gardening. The French don't like gardening so much, but the Brits do. So this has got a really nice plot of land with a manageable garden, and it's on the market for €350,000.
Come on then, where are we going? Should we go this way and see the animals?
I'll just push an empty buggy around again.
OK, you want to go that way first? Come on then.
One family cashing in on this competitive property market are Dan and Jodie Bartholomew Oates and their 2 children, Bella and Beau.
Where in England could you afford to buy 35 acres with 12 acres of lake? It'd be physically impossible. To be honest, what bloke wouldn't want to just drive his own tractor for a living as well? You know, 35 acres of field to...
He loves it. Oh, we've got stuck in the mud. I'm coming.
Yeah.
Tractor man.
That's it, it's brilliant.
Dan and Jodie paid £500,000 for an established carp fishing business and a beautiful home. It came with 2 lakes, a selection of outbuildings, and 100 times more land than they had back in Southampton. A similar business in the UK would have set them back well over £1.5 million. In England, Dan was a helicopter engineer and Jodie owned a care home, so why carp fishing?
You'd never been fishing, had you?
I've been fishing once,
once.
On the River Derwent with my brother-in-law for about half an hour. I got incredibly bored of it. So yeah, it seemed like the ideal business, really.
But the couple thought this would be a great commercial opportunity. Angling is massive in France, bringing in thousands of tourists a year.
It's stunning, it's a lovely little fishery.
Last year, Dan and Jodie opened a holiday lodge and welcomed a good number of guests.
It's just an unbelievable place, it really is.
But this is a niche market. Dan and Jodie have not been making enough money to make the business viable, so need to broaden their appeal.
Why does fishing have to be grotty and cold and uncomfortable? Why can't you have a lovely days or nights fishing and then come and sleep in a nice bed and cook a proper meal? And I know some fishermen are, oh, you know, that's wussy and that's not how you fish, but...
We still encourage them as well, don't we?
So they've built a new luxury lodge near the second lake in the hope that the fishermen will now bring along their families. But to fund it, they've had to borrow €50,000 from the Bank of Mum.
It's really squeezed us for every penny, and it's really going to put us in a predicament if we can't now earn that back. So the pressure's on, the lake's open, that's it, it's no excuses now. Get the bookings in, get the people coming, and not just get them coming back.
To get those bookings, Dan and Jodie need publicity. So in 2 hours, an angling journalist has booked in to review the new lodge and lake. And he's bringing his wife along to see if it suits a family market.
So he's going to come, write a review and give us his honest opinions.
But time is short.
This is pretty manky.
Hopefully it'll fire up in a minute. It's a bit temperamental. I'll have to try some mowing at this rate. Yeah, let's try some mowing, because that is clearly not going to work.
No amount of planning gets you anywhere sometimes. Okay, makes me laugh. Mum was saying earlier, I'll bring over an iron and iron it in situ. I don't think we're at that stage now.
And typically it's when you're in a rush that things go wrong.
Oh, it's blocked up. There is a bit of a rush, yeah. You know, when the mower doesn't work as it should do, it's quite annoying.
Eventually, engineer Dan wins his fight against the overgrown lawn and can help his wife.
We've still got to clean the lodge. We've still got to, you know, I've still got a couple of decking boards to nail together, and still quite a bit to do.
It'll be okay,
Yeah,
surely. What can possibly go wrong?
Well, how about your special guests arriving early?
Oh, he's here.
Oh, Ken's here.
Oh, great.
How bum is it to be nice for them? Right, let me just do a quick. This is the kind of cleaning that I tell Dan never to do. Shortcut cleaning, shoving stuff in drawers, and what am I doing? I'm doing it. I tell you what, Bella, would you put your wellies on and go and say a big hello to Ken and Carol for me? Give them one of your really chatterbox chats.
There's nothing more Dan and Jodie can do. It's time to find out if their brand new lodge and lake will impress their guests. At Rob and Steve's Vineyard, their PR push has resulted in a possible new deal for their wine with a UK merchant. But they can't rest on their laurels. Today they're turning their attention to another side of the business, wine tours.
We've got a couple of people due here shortly, so it would have been nice to have had a slightly cleaner, tidier impression to give them. Hopefully our personality will prevail and they won't see the mess, and, you know, they'll see it for what it is. Hello there.
Hi.
Hello. Hi. Good to see you.
Carl and Kristen from Wales are on a 2-week wine tour of France, and they've already visited 14 vineyards.
Lovely to see you both. Well, welcome to Clos Rocher. Do you want to have a look around the vines first?
Absolutely.
After you. Thank you. Predominantly Merlot through the top and down through here, and then we've got a lot of Cabernet Franc in here.
Did you know much about wine before you bought it, though?
Other than drinking lots of it, no, it's been a very fast learning curve. It's
shock to the system.
Slightly, because it wasn't exactly what we intended to do, was it really? We came for a quiet life.
Really?
Yeah, and turned round and bought a vineyard.
So you aged it and bottled it and everything here yourself?
Yeah. I'll show you the cellar and what happens.
Despite being novices, Rob and Steve are doing a good job.
So,
next, into the cellars.
Some of the yeast that's grown on the walls here.
Yeah.
My natural instinct is to scrub it all off, but we were told don't touch it because it all adds to the unique flavour that you'll have in your finished product.
And finally, a chance to make some cash.
The reserve has been in for 18 months. You should find
some
nice
I can smell the fruit there, yeah. Got a lovely nose. Nice,
really
fruity
has.
malt.
Do you drink rosés as well, or are you red drinkers?
As a general rule at home, we wouldn't have a bottle of rosé.
Despite their customers' reluctance,
Don't try to try that?
Why not?
Rob and Steve are keen to sell the vineyard's rosé.
Enjoy.
Oh, it smells lovely. It smells lovely and fresh.
Well, there you go, from a non-white rosé wine drinker, that's fab. You could be very proud of that.
It's really good.
With Carl and Kristen converted to rosé, they decide to buy 2 bottles and 2 red, with a promise to order more soon.
Got to keep in touch. And we
Absolutely. That's not
Really impressed.
Yeah,
It's a hell of a task to take on, I think, and clearly the love and the comes through from the two of them and what they're doing. And that'll translate into successful business.
See you. Bye-bye. Spending the time with people is important, isn't it?
They've gone away, and I think they'll talk about us not only to themselves but maybe to other people as well.
You know, it's great publicity. All in all, a good morning, and I think it's time for lunch.
It's a week later and another milestone for Rob and Steve.
Don't drop it.
Because their dream home is finally finished.
These are the moments when you've moved house, feel more like home, when you start to put your personal possessions in place.
After living in the damp old farmhouse for months.
Oh, it just softens it off, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like that. That's nice.
Rob and Steve can finally begin the finishing touches to their home.
Hopefully it'll reach the plug socket. Ah. We couldn't decide on the light fitting, so this is a temporary measure also. It's okay. It'll do for now.
Oh, yes. That's it now.
Yes.
When they bought this property, which dates back to the 16th century, it was neglected and unloved. It has been totally transformed into a stylish 2-bed, 2-bathroom home. The fixtures and fittings add a touch of luxury. And despite big delays and problems, Steve has his new modern kitchen. With all the finishing touches now complete, the pair finally have their dream home to match their new dream business.
We bought a dump, didn't we?
We did. I think we saw something that others didn't, and now we've cleared it, we've got the benefit of it. Amazing. Yeah.
It's beautiful, and we do have to keep telling ourselves we're very lucky to be enjoying this each and every day, aren't we?
Yeah, it is really. We're spoiled. We are spoiled.
Everything seems to be coming together for Rob and Steve. But their biggest challenge is yet to come because harvest is fast approaching, and this could make or break their new life in the sun. In the valleys of the Midi-Pyrénées, Sam and Andrew Ledwith are hosting their first ever package holiday for runners.
Just be really careful you don't trip up, Andrew.
Let's not joke about that, really.
Please be careful.
So far, Bev and Helen's stay has been crammed full of good food, wine, and of course, running.
We were kind of eased into it on the first day with a kind of nice short 5-miler. Today, I think, we've got another big hill, which we're slightly nervous about, but we've got a nice run into it, so we should be fairly warmed up by the time we get to it. So it's, yeah, it should be good.
And it seems Andrew has saved the toughest route till last.
They're a bit nervous about the hill,
Bit nervous
aren't
about
they?
the hill.
You've shown them the elevation.
Yeah, I showed them the map. It just sort of goes, boing. But I'm sure they'll enjoy it because you've got a cracking view of the vines in the valley, so it's worth it once you get up there.
The run might sound grueling, but the start point is simply breathtaking.
So we're going to hug the river for a little bit, for say a mile, and then we're going to cut through the vineyards. Later on we'll see the hill that we've got to go up.
I don't think we want to see it before we get there,
I probably won't need to point it out, you'll see that.
All right, okay.
And go.
Allez.
The Lot is one of the longest rivers in France, 481 kilometres, and is a stunning backdrop to the first part of their route. As they leave its banks, the runners head past acres of vineyards.
You can see this one already changing colour to a gold, like a lovely red. It's stunning when it's full.
Finally, it's time for the hill.
It's only one hill, come on.
With a welcome party at the finish line.
Well, they look happy, so that's the result.
And the ladies appear to have taken it all in their stride.
Well done!
Yes!
High five! Well done, mate. How was that?
I'm really pleased with it, actually. I was expecting it to be far, far worse. But actually,
It was hard,
it was hard, don't get me wrong.
How was the hill?
knocked off.
Harder than it, yeah.
Almost vertical at one point, wasn't it?
I'm running through the vines. I can't believe how lucky I am that I've done it.
Oh,
I'm really lucky.
After running for over 7 miles in 25-degree heat, there's only one thing for it. Before Bev and Helen are ready to give that all-important feedback.
Thanks for having us.
Really enjoyed it.
On the route side of the runs, they're going to be self-guided, aren't they? So, do you think producing like a little map, laminated map?
I personally have enjoyed having a guide.
And your enthusiasm and passion for it, it just, you know, it flows out of you anyway,
Yeah.
so that's really infectious.
Might have to consider going out with them then, maybe, or on request.
Yeah.
Good feedback so far, but what? I want to hear some bad stuff.
Bad stuff. There hasn't been any bad stuff. It has
Come on, there must have been something.
We've really enjoyed it.
I just feel really privileged to have
part of your journey.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you. Lots to take on, lots to think about.
They did put some valid points to us, which we are going to take on board and run with, aren't we?
Yeah, it's been really successful and really interesting, and now, like you say, we can run with it and start building the package up to what we want it to be.
It seems Sam and Andrew might have come up with a business plan that could secure their new life in the sun.
I think we've done really well. I mean, I'm massively proud of Sam.
I'm very proud of you. All these skills that you've shown that you didn't know you had, I didn't know you had them.
I didn't.
For the past 3 months, the Ledwiths have been on an incredible journey. After completing difficult renovations, they have a beautiful home, have hosted lots of satisfied holidaymakers.
We're loving it, and having them here is great.
And they now believe they have found a lucrative niche in the holiday market.
If this trail running package works, maybe
When?
offering, maybe offering massage or yoga classes. We also thought about setting up a race in Puilavec in memory of my dad, which would be fantastic, wouldn't it?
But what would Sam's dad have thought of the couple turning his dream into a potentially viable business?
I think he would be extremely proud of the fact that his legacy is continuing. We've taken on what he left behind and kind of ran with it, really, so to speak.
I think he'll probably think we're crazy giving up our lives back in the UK and the security that we had in the UK.
But my dad was such a free spirit. You know, I think life is about experiences, and that's really important.
Dan and his wife Jodie are running a carp fishery in rural France. They've just opened a second lodge and lake, and this week angling journalist Ken Townley and his wife Carol are checking in.
Is it all right for shoes?
Yes, you're fine.
Dan and Jodie need a good review from Ken to really help them break the family market.
Blimey, you've done a hell of a job on this, haven't you?
Do you think?
Yeah.
It's amazing how much they fitted in to such a compact
Small space.
place.
Yeah.
Nice big fridge. They know how to do things for people's comfort.
Ken's more interested in carp, not kitchens, so it's off to the lake.
Here we are. Very nice indeed, isn't it?
But it's not long before he spots some potential problems.
You know, somebody comes here and fishes in the winter, and this is clay, and clay gets very slippery.
Yeah,
as you
I know what you mean, yeah.
I can see somebody, especially if they've had a couple of 1664s, going...
And there's another issue that could spell more work for Dan.
Ken has said the one thing that's missing is to have a place to put his wet stuff. So for this week, I've said he can use the boiler room.
So that means Dan will have to lay concrete and build a shed on top of it, and he wants it finished before Ken leaves in 2 weeks' time.
Okay, are we going to be able to do it that quickly?
Yeah, it's fine.
In what? 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll be all right.
So
As
what
long
you're
as it doesn't
saying
pour
is,
down.
it's been about 34 minutes since our last challenge passed. Let's start a new one.
Why not?
I felt great there for about 5 minutes.
Over the next few days, late spring brings heavy showers and Dan's shed building is on hold. Instead of mixing concrete, he's mixing cake.
we basically can't get on with it because of the rain. So we can't can't do anything, can we? There's just nothing we can do.
And to make matters worse, even when the sun is shining, this angling journalist isn't catching any big fish on the new lake.
I get the feeling that Ken wants to write us a good review, but if he's not catching the fish, then, you know, there's only so much he can write about.
With 2 weeks to go, Dan and Jodie can only hope Ken finally lands some fish. On the Spanish mountains near Santa Pola, paraglider Joe Reed is facing a spot of bother. He's waiting for the wind to pick up to fly, meaning his 2 customers are sweltering in the midday heat and on the verge of pulling out.
The wind's due to pick up, so it's just waiting for it to come in. There's no point taking off and it being weak and then having to land down the bottom. So if you're going to do it right.
Teenager Kyle, who is here with his granddad Dennis, is already nervous.
Get it over with.
The delays are making things worse.
I can sense it. You are quite nervous, aren't you? Yeah.
But as the wind picks up, Joe's pilot decides to go for it.
Run, keep running, keep running, keep running.
Unfortunately, though, he struggles to get much height.
He's quite low. I don't think the wind's strong enough.
And instead of soaring skywards, Kyle heads straight back down to earth.
Yeah, he's definitely going into land. I'll have to go and pick him up. I'll be about 10 minutes.
Joe races off to collect Kyle and his pilot. But stress can do strange things to people. Joe has somehow forgotten Kyle's name.
Do you want to sit in the back, Lee? Do you want to go again, mate? How was it?
It was actually really, really good.
Joe isn't going to give up and gets ready for another attempt. He still thinks Kyle's called Lee, though.
Lee, you okay, mate?
Somebody's really going to have to say something.
So it was a short flight just then, but you can kind of get the gist of things of what you're supposed to do. So just remember...
Anyway, it's called Kyle.
Pardon?
I'm called Kyle.
You've called... Oh, you called Kyle? I've been calling you Lee.
Yeah.
I've been calling him Lee all day. Kyle. So who's Lee then?
Now that's cleared up, well, sort of, Kyle's ready for his second flight. This time, Joe gets his name right.
Well done, Kyle. Woo! Well done, mate.
And the wind gives them liftoff.
Yes. That's good. He kept running.
It's a perfect flight.
Enjoying it properly now.
Followed 20 minutes later by a perfect landing.
Glad you done it?
Yeah, it was insane as well.
It was insane. Good, mate.
All round an unforgettable experience for Kyle.
Every time when I come to bed, I'm going to always do it.
And his granddad.
I'm really pleased for him. He really did well. I didn't think he'd do it, but he did. And I'm dead proud of him. I really am.
With one anxious customer down, there's a new challenge. All Joe has to do is give French tourist Sebastian his safety briefing. Simple, or maybe not.
How was your English, okay? You okay, cool, no problem.
But Joe's in luck. Sebastian's wife Stephanie is on hand.
Can you tell him the most important thing to do is when he's running, he runs. Yes, he runs. Very important. Yeah, that's run. Yeah.
Remembering his coochie coochie coochie.
Run.
And with the weather now perfect, Sebastian's takeoff is a breeze.
Woo!
While Joe engages in a bit of customer relations, despite his lack of French.
Yeah, Papa. Papa, hola. Oi. Look, Papa's there.
Oui, Papa.
Wow, what a nice birthday present. Very good, very good. Congratulations, my man. Perfect, well done. Awesome. You enjoy? Good? Yes?
Super.
Good. Fantastic day. We got them both flying in the air. They're both happy. The lad was nervous, so he overcome his own fear, which is brilliant. He loved it, and he'd definitely do it again. So yeah, I'm happy.
Over the next few weeks, Joe's business goes from strength to strength.
How are you feeling? You okay now? Or are you getting... You're excited?
From husbands and wives from Bulgaria.
Run, 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 run. Run, 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 run. Woo!
To holiday-making Brits.
Glad to have your feet back on the ground.
Yes.
Yeah? And would you do it again?
Yep.
Cool, good.
Joe proves nothing will stand in his way.
Woo!
And Joe's now so confident he's taking a big step forward for the future.
¿Cómo se dice en español?
Cajones.
Cajones. Oh, cajones.
Cajones.
This year, Joe's had to hire a glider and a pilot, which takes a cut of his profits.
You always see the lines, the airlines up. Okay?
But he's now invested in his own glider, which will mean he'll be able to pocket the full fee.
Release. Come on.
Today is his first practice session with pilot Xavi.
Great, man. Stop, 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 stop. Be careful with the... Yeah. Woo! Perfect.
I'm happy with that, man.
He's a good student.
Joe will have to pass a course before he can take customers out, but he's delighted with how much of his army training he's remembered.
I think I'm making quite good progress. It's good because I might not have to fork out for a course, and it means that I can start taking people flying by myself sooner. I mean, still, I'm looking at 2 years, but it's definitely a good step forward.
Despite a really tricky start, Joe has managed to make a success of his business.
Release, run, run, run. Okay.
For it to be my first year, I'm happy with the amount of people that I flew. So I'm doing something right.
As the season draws to a close, Joe's confident that this is definitely a business with a future.
If you can tick something off your bucket list and do it in Spain as well, where the sun shines so beautifully, then why would you say no?
Next time, with their own house complete.
You had said a few years ago, would you have a view like this? I wouldn't have thought so, to be honest.
Rob and Steve tackle their holiday sheets.
It's a lovely property hidden by decades of neglect.
Chaos at the fishing lodge.
The quagmire of France.
Plus a celebrity guest.
Our new people are due at lunchtime today. And when is Chris Tarrant popping by? Lunchtime today.
And there's a last-minute dash.
Spanish brickwork isn't the best.
For Benidorm's latest bar.
We need to get the doors open. The season's already started, so we're just missing out, and we need to start getting money in.
Every year, thousands of Brits leave the UK in search of a dream in Europe.
Look at that sunrise now, beautiful.
I could almost die and go to heaven, and this is what it would be like.
There's sunshine, scenery and a great quality of life. But all this has to be paid for.
Yes, we bought our house!
So to fund the dream...
This is part of our working day now.
Brits are jumping in. And starting up businesses.
There's absolutely no way that we can host a wedding in this marquee.
On this brand new series, we follow a fresh wave of expats.
She's just like a pregnant Hollywood star.
Running B&Bs and boats in Spain.
It's another day in the office.
Vineyards and villas in France.
One day you might be drinking that.
But will they make it? Or break it?
If we don't start getting bookings, it's going to be a bit of a problem.
It's going to be intense.
And will these new expats find happiness in the sun?
This could be a new life in the sun for us.
On today's show, with their own house renovations complete.
You had said a few years ago, would you have a view like this? I wouldn't have thought so, to be honest.
2 new winemakers tackle restoring a holiday sheet.
It's a lovely property hidden by decades of neglect.
Chaos at a French fishing lodge.
The quagmire of France.
Plus a celebrity guest.
Our new people are due at lunchtime today. And when is Chris Tarrant popping by? Lunchtime today.
And a last-minute dash.
Spanish brickwork isn't the best.
for Benidorm's latest bar.
We need to get the doors open. The season's already started, so we're just missing out, and we need to start getting money in.
France is known around the world for its festivals. There's not a week that goes by without some party celebrating the great food and wine, or the country's culture and history. Events like the annual Battle of Castillon, marking the 15th century war where the French defeated the English. Almost 600 years later, 2 Englishmen are trying to win over the French.
And that's Rob and myself's vineyard.
Okay. For the past 10 months, Rob Brimfield and Steve McMahon have been running their 20-acre vineyard near the picture postcard village of Saint-Emilion.
It's beautiful, and we do have to keep telling ourselves we're very lucky to be enjoying this each and every day, aren't we?
Yeah, it is really. We're spoiled.
After months of renovations, Rob and Steve have finally moved into their new dream home. Once a dilapidated wreck, it's been totally transformed. It has a stylish kitchen, luxury bathrooms, and the most amazing scenery as far as the eye can see.
It's a very envious view, to be honest. If you had said a few years ago, would you have a view like this? I wouldn't have thought so, to be honest. So it's a nice achievement.
With one beautiful home down, it's time to transform the old farmhouse, which was their temporary home, into 4 holiday gîtes.
They've started to rip out all the doors and the windows and the partitions and the ceilings and everything.
So they're stripping it back before the roof comes off and the floors get put in.
So this isn't our bedroom anymore. Yeah, bathroom's gone, ceiling's gone.
Wardrobes, lovely purple wardrobes have gone. I shall miss those.
They've drawn up detailed plans to make the most of every inch of this 200-year-old building. Or so they thought.
What's in there?
I don't know.
This is new, never seen this.
No.
What's in there, though?
I don't know.
Should I just kick it in?
No. Steve's always good at opening the cupboard but running off quickly just in case there's something in there he doesn't want to see. Oh, there we go. Absolutely nothing.
Could have been a stash of money or something.
A little safe or some vintage Pomerol wine or something like that.
So with no secret space to work with, it's back to plan A.
So this will be an all-in-one kitchen living room with a stairs popping you up to bedroom and bathroom above. So this is the old dining room. A little bit of work to be done to this one, but it will be a really nice sheet when it's finished. This will be a nice one, this will.
Rob and Steve are hoping to have the holiday gîtes completed in time for the next summer season.
We are slightly behind schedule, aren't we? We want it to happen now. We want the door in, we want the kind of the new concrete floors, everything. We just want it now.
It's a lovely property hidden by decades of neglect. So it'd be nice to give it the facelift it deserves, won't it?
Yes. We need these to be full from spring onwards to actually supplement the income as the wine is still in its early days as far as our sales are concerned. We're not after a lot, just enough so we can keep paying the bills.
With the building work costs continuing to rise, wine sales are now more important than ever. Being the newbies in town, they've spent the last few months marketing their brand with some success.
This is 70% Merlot, 27% Cabernet Franc and 3% Cabernet Sauvignon.
There we go. Hope you enjoy.
But now, after a busy summer season working the fairs and festivals, they're approaching the main event of the year.
It's all wonky, isn't it?
That's fine.
This is the biggest opportunity they have to welcome tourists to their vineyard and sell some wine.
If you have one visitor and they leave with a smile on their face and hopefully with a purchase, then that's great, we're happy.
But competition is stiff as they're not the only vineyard in the area opening their doors.
There's 19 different vineyards doing tastings all at the same time, so it could be a tall order, it could be, it could work out, we'll see. that's all we can do. Fingers crossed, hope for the best. I hope Steve sells more than I do anyway.
Why?
Because I intend to sell a lot.
Excellent.
So with everything crossed, it's time for Rob and Steve to welcome their first visitors.
Hi, darling.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
An English group keen to taste some blush.
So, that's our rosé, quite a pink one. We like a bit of colour in our rosé.
Please don't be offended if I don't like it.
No, that's fine. We think it's got a hint of old-fashioned pear drops.
I don't like rosé.
I know you're not a big one, are you?
Actually, I don't mind that one. I could sit and quaff.
It's mixed reviews for the rosé.
Thank you.
You're welcome, good to see you.
And the day's only visitors sadly leave empty-handed.
You always do feel a bit kind of, I like to thought they'd have bought a couple.
It's nice that some people turned up. A little bit disappointing no
Only
one
been
else
one.
did.
Yeah, the fact that it's an open doors event would have been nice to expected a few more.
At least we're participating and trialling every option, aren't we?
Well, yeah. I said the day's not over and we've got a whole day tomorrow as well, so...
Yeah. Sunday might be a better day for it.
It's a bad start for Rob and Steve. But can they turn things around and get some sales? In southwest France, the countryside seems to stretch forever. Houses here often come with a much lower price tag compared to the UK and at least a quarter of an acre of land.
The great thing about French properties is they're never short on space. There's always land around you. You can have as much land as you want.
170 kilometres north of Steve and Rob's Vineyard, this beautiful 3-bed farmhouse has a stunning traditional kitchen, a homely living room and an impressive oak staircase. Outside, it gets even better. Not only does this property have a large child-friendly garden, it comes with 35 acres of land and 12 acres of fishing lakes. It cost £500,000 and would easily be worth £2 million in the UK.
Would you like to read us one of these books, Bella?
It's now home to Dan Bartholomew Oates, his wife Jodie and their young family.
Did you remember when we first moved into the house and we'd get up and go and look out the window and because you can see for miles instead of the next houses on your estate or whatever? I used to literally wake up and think, oh, we're so lucky to wake up to this.
Yeah, definitely.
They took over an established carp fishing business with a stone holiday cottage, but so far they've struggled to turn a profit.
We have spent so much out, we've spent every penny out, every penny.
So to boost their income, they've built an additional luxury lodge especially for families.
Here we are.
Very nice indeed, isn't it?
And now have an angling journalist to stay to write a review.
Looks lovely. Good. Yeah, looks lovely, Dan.
But the heavens have opened and he's failing to land a catch.
I get the feeling that Ken wants to write us a good review, but if he's not catching the fish, then, you know, there's only so much he can write about.
A few days later, the sky's clear. And down at the lake, Ken is starting to catch some beauties.
Hello, little fella. This is a wee babby. That's it. That's a nice fish. Whoa! Carp juggling. There you go, my love. Off you go. That's a baby. That's one of the nicest bits when you see them go back. Get more enjoyment seeing them waddle away than catching them.
And after even more success over the next 10 days, Ken's blown away by Jodie and Dan's place.
It's been excellent fishing. Got 41 fish. A good high average, I would say the average has been around the £29 mark. The lodge is fantastic, it's lovely and it's perfect in every respect. Absolutely splendid.
But now there's a huge challenge for Jodie and Dan. Running 2 lodges means twice the workload, and today's their first double changeover day.
We're quite used to changeover day because we've always done the one with the Napoleonic cottage, but to add the lodge into it as well is quite quite a big thing really for us, you know, to see how we cope.
And to add to the pressure, one set of guests have arrived early, hoping to catch a glimpse of Ken.
Good morning. Good morning. Hello, mate. How are you?
Very well, Ken. I drove through the night so I could meet you.
Good morning, mate.
John. Good morning. How you doing, John?
I'm doing fine. You should have a great time down there.
And with the fans' day made, Ken's off to write his review.
Right, bye, guys.
All right, see you later. See you soon.
And now Dan and Jodie can start getting the lodges ready.
Do you know where the king-size mattress sheet is?
It's in one of those under-bed drawers, but which one? I couldn't honestly tell you, love.
It's not here.
It should probably still be in a packet.
Jodie needs to do the laundry.
What colours would you like, Bella Boo?
I want golden things.
But they're starting to realise that juggling a young family and this bigger business is tricky.
They don't go away, these two. They're pretty permanent. OK, don't strip off. We'll put your apron on the top, OK? Every Saturday and Sunday, I don't get to do our own washing because I'm doing the lodge washing, so then as soon as I finish this, there'll be mountains of our own.
But soon it's Dan who has to prove he can multitask. The new guests need rescuing.
The quagmire of France.
And in the middle of rural France, there's only one emergency service they can call.
All part of the service.
It's just 1 week a year and it's just, everything's just null and void. It's great. Love it. And look at me, it keeps me young.
With one set of satisfied guests and another group on their way, Jodie's working hard on the little extras she hopes will make all the difference.
I do make sure everyone's at least got one homemade cake each week, sometimes two, especially if they're here for a couple of weeks.
With a long list of jobs, this is just adding to the pressure.
It's going to rain.
It's literally just started raining, hasn't it?
But finally, 4 hours after Ken checked out, they're ready.
Yes. Everything is done, I think. Nearly.
Yeah, everything, bar a few snagging jobs, bit of washing, cake in the oven, guests to arrive. Jobs are good.
But just when they thought there were no more jobs to do...
This is what we're up against a lot of the time with, you know, we're doing the cottage cleaning and then we'll come back and one of them will be covered in paint.
With the business fully booked and their own young family to juggle, will Dan and Jodie really be able to keep everyone happy? Over the centuries, Spanish cuisine has been influenced by cultures from across the world. Romans introduced wine, the Greeks olive oil, and the Moors brought the rice dishes that Spain is so famous for. In the tourist resorts, food is a multi-million-pound industry, and there are thousands of bars and restaurants vying for trade. But in Benidorm, two newlyweds from Birmingham hope there is room for something a little different.
I was in the construction industry, but I was just getting sick of it, you know, working for other people. And I thought, change, let's move to the sun and let's have a go.
Look at the beautiful sea behind us, you know, when we have a break at work, it's not nipping to the sandwich shop, you know, we could come for a walk along the beach. It's just quite amazing, really.
Martin Reeston and Dina Palmer have only just got married, but instead of a honeymoon, they've come to Benidorm to open a top-quality Indian restaurant.
We got married a week and a half ago, which was an amazing day. I think we were both nervous. We've been together for 7 years and we had a business opportunity come up and we kind of got married and came out here 2 days later.
They plan to open the restaurant just a week after stepping off the plane to begin their new lives, so it's a good job they aren't on their own.
Got a mixture of fresh and dry spices in here.
They're going into partnership with Dina's brother, Sunil.
Perfect.
He knows his way around a kitchen, but he's not a trained chef. He's a trained European consultant.
My mum taught me everything I know in the kitchen. We all went against our mother's wishes because she was like, don't mix business with family relationships. Do not do this.
We're like, oh, we'll be fine, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Benidorm is the most visited town on the whole of the Costa Blanca, with some 4 million tourists a year descending here. Now this family want a slice of the market and plan to open a restaurant merging Spanish and Indian cultures, and they want to open in 2 days.
We're big foodies, so we love food, we love Indian food, and we love home-cooked food. So what we thought of was take the style of dining, of tapas, of little bits of sharing platters whilst having a drink, and taking that with Indian food.
Busy Benidorm should give them the custom they need. But for their home life, they've opted for a traditional Spanish retreat.
We live in a really nice village in the mountains, so we've opted to live out of Benidorm and come back to the hustle and bustle. And where we are, you can't walk to a shop.
It's nice to get away from here.
The selling point of their modernised 3-bed house is the outside space, and all this costs just 100,000 euros. But they still have bills to pay, and with the season already underway, the family has set themselves an ambitious goal.
We're planning to open in 2 days, so Friday, Saturday, yeah. So we're hoping to open on Saturday, but there's a lot to do.
The time is just running out. Haven't eaten. Hour drive home. Get late nights already. It's tough. It is difficult.
These are heavy.
It's proving to be an exhausting introduction to their new life in the sun. But though Benidorm is a city that never sleeps, nobody can work around the clock for too long. As the new day arrives, the list of jobs doesn't seem to be getting much shorter. First task, put the name of the restaurant up.
We've got to get this done today because we are actually opening tomorrow.
Surely this is a piece of cake for former construction worker Martin.
Spanish brickwork isn't the best.
That looks good.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's cool, man. The O's upside down.
With the work piling up, they've decided to take on some extra help.
How's it going?
Hi, Dean. How you doing?
You good? Very good, as always.
Yeah.
Pleased to meet you.
Dean's just in time for his first team meeting. Hopefully it won't put him off before he starts.
Jobs left to do.
Wire up the CCTV.
Yeah.
Put the plates on the back of the speaker. Unpack all the furniture. Clean behind the bar.
More supplies.
Print menus.
So we're opening Sunday again?
No, tomorrow.
We'll just see how much we can rattle through, because there is a lot of stuff here.
Sunil and Dean head off to the market, but they may be a little late.
These aren't too great.
They're the best you're getting in Spain when it comes to lemons and limes at this time of the year.
These don't look that great either. We need to find some coriander. This is parsley.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't have any.
With the restaurant due to open tomorrow, the pressure is starting to build.
We need to get the doors open. The season's already started, so we're just missing out, and we need to start getting money in.
If Sunil, Dina and Martin are going to open on time, they've got their work cut out. With food to prepare, menus to print, prices to set, and countless other jobs, will they really be ready by tomorrow night? The Charente, southwest France. Dan and Jodie are nervously looking out for a crucial review of their fishing business.
Scroll up then.
Where are we going?
Well, at the top, I'd like to read it from the beginning.
Journalist Ken has written a critique of their newly opened family lodge.
Personally, my missus and I found the lodge to be perfect in every respect. That's nice. Okay, here we go. The lodge has a large kitchen and living area that is well equipped with all the comforts of home you could wish for. Finally, a word about Jodie, Dan and the kids. A nicer, more welcoming family we have yet to meet. That's nice.
Yeah, really good review.
If what he says gets us even just 2 bookings a year, that's a lot of money on his say-so.
And it isn't long before the couple begin to see the benefits of a good review.
So, This is your accommodation. Bedroom in there, double sofa bed, shower room.
The Palmers have just arrived for a week's stay in the new family lodge.
It's like home from home, which will be lovely. It's beautiful. I'm really pleased.
They're with another couple, and it's all thanks to that glowing report.
The first time I heard particularly about this lake was an article I read by Ken Townley. And on the back of that, it just looked like a lovely place. So I thought there's an ideal opportunity for us to go abroad, take the kids, nice and relaxed. So it was one on the top of the list, really.
But the Palmers are not the only family here today.
Hello. Hello. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Jodie.
The Howards and the Searles have booked for a week in the cottage.
Come on in.
There are 3 bedrooms and bathrooms. You obviously make yourselves at home.
These 2 bedrooms are pretty much the same setup. Both have got ensuite shower rooms.
It wasn't my sort of holiday when he come home and said we're going fishing. It's like, really? But when we actually looked at the website and saw what was involved and everything, then it was like, oh, it's not bad.
It is really, really nice.
But it seems with their first ever double family in, Dan has dropped the ball and there are still a couple of jobs outstanding.
I've still got the barbecue to clean and I've got the hot tub and stuff to tidy up.
What, here?
Yes.
Dan and Jodie have been invited to a local street party and don't want their girls to miss out. Yet again, they are feeling the strain of running a business with having a young family.
You've come on the one day in the year that the hamlet have a street party. But because I've told Bella that we're going, it's hard to break what I've told her. But that does mean, I ought to say, that there'll be a slight delay in Dan cleaning your hot tub and barbecue. Will that be okay?
No worries at all.
Crisis averted and guests appeased, it seems Bella will go to the ball after all.
How'd you say goodbye?
Ava.
Good girl. How'd you say thank you?
Merci.
Good girl.
And that's about the same as our French, really. Yeah.
Not too much different.
Apart from ordering plasterboard.
The party is a chance to get to know their new neighbours.
Oh, elles sont belles. Bonjour les filles. Bonjour.
To share food, wine and bon ami.
We don't really speak French, but this is the welcome we get. And to be honest, we've never had this welcome from our neighbours in England, have we?
No.
Or our friends, for that matter.
Dan and Jodie drop off a homemade gift to their new friends.
Vodka, limon, sucre.
Magnifique. Oh là!
Super
bon. Ouh là là! Oh mon Dieu!
Au revoir!
Before bidding adieu to get these 2 sleepy girls to bed. A week later, it's the last day of the holiday for the lodge's first family.
It's been lovely. I know the men have been down fishing and the girls had some fishing rods out as well. So we fished and we were showing them how to cast out and the guys were showing them how to do it. So that was really nice.
The swimming pool is so big, I didn't think it was going to be this big.
And time also for the other guests, the Howards, to say goodbye.
Ready for off?
Yeah, well done, Dan. Thanks for a great trip, mate.
No problem.
Superb.
Well done.
Definitely be back.
It's been lovely. The place is well big enough for all of us. It's been lovely.
Plenty of wine, plenty of sun, plenty of fishing.
It's been a successful week for Dan and Jodie, with the properties full with families for the very first time.
When you've got newbies that are turning up and sort of falling in love with the place, much like they've done, it's, you know, it's fantastic.
They can now say they have finally broken into the family market. July in Benidorm. It's the peak of the holiday season, with thousands of tourists all ready to spend their hard-earned cash. Competition is fierce, but Martin Reeston, his wife Dina and her brother Sunil believe their family has the recipe to success with their new restaurant.
Perfect. I always liked a good curry and tandoori stuff, chops and things like that. And when I met Dina, she cooked me a curry and it was amazing. It was so good.
But the restaurant is a long way from being ready for today's opening.
That can't be there. That needs to be there, maybe.
That can't be there.
Well, why don't you put these there? You can put a table here, Mark, because it's not really an entrance.
Yeah, but it's just too busy. You've got to walk in and walk around everywhere.
Mark, you need more seats. If you came to a restaurant and the food was good and they said, that's your table, I'd be like, sweet, thanks a lot there, lovely. Cheers.
We wanted to open in half an hour, but I think we're going to have to give
cutting
it
it
a couple of
fine.
hours.
So if you want to, are you staying long? Do you live in Vineyard or?
No. You're on holiday?
Oh,
yeah, pop by later on.
Sunil is hoping to serve quality Indian tapas with the help from new recruit Dean.
Siesta time, wasn't that? Did we not just talk about siestas
There's no
2 minutes ago?
siesta here. We're on Bombay clocks here. You can have a minute's break for every 12 hours you work.
But time is ticking away.
We were due to open for about 4 o'clock today, but I think that's going to be a little bit optimistic. So I think we'll be opening up early evening, round about 7 o'clock if we're lucky, just to catch like the start of the evening trade.
They're using family recipes to hopefully give Noir a home-cooked flavour.
The wings are quite good actually.
I haven't got the wing yet, but the chops are amazing.
Chicken's just right, yeah. It's nice.
Lamb's good. Do you reckon you can do this in the kitchen?
Yep.
Yeah? Gotta make us proud tonight.
Yeah.
Let's see if we get any customers.
They won't get any customers if they don't get the doors open quick. But finally, after a couple more hours of elbow grease and teamwork, they are ready to go. Well, almost.
The time now is 7:30. It'll be great if we can open up in the next half an hour. We've got one major but outstanding task, which is a little one, but we're almost there, is getting the menus printed.
They've arranged to get the menus printed at a newsagent across the street. But there's a problem.
I think it's too small. Yes, and it's too small.
Yeah.
I think we need to make it big. We have to send it back to you, if that's okay. I'll go back,
Okay.
make it bigger,
And
then come back.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Eventually, the menus are printed, and 2 hours behind schedule, Noir is finally open for business.
Here's to the dream team at the Dream Bar. Cheers.
Nervous, very nervous. It's quiet outside today. Very quiet. I think it's going to set up.
Tonight marks the beginning of a shared dream, but have Martin, Sunil and Dina done enough to tempt the tourists inside? At Rob and Steve's Vineyard, it's the second day of the annual open door event.
Okay, all ready.
And they're hoping for a better turnout than yesterday.
Morale does get a little bit of a kick when not a load of people turn up as you would have expected.
They're competing against 19 established vineyards, so selling will be tough.
I won't let anything get me down. I'm a fighter. Hello, I'm Steve. I'm the proprietor here.
And things are looking good. They have some customers.
Okay, so this is our tasting room.
So this is the 2014.
Yeah.
It's a French wine. It wants time.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing.
It has a really good lasting taste on your mouth after you've finished drinking the wine.
It's quite good.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of fruit.
Yeah.
A lot of time. The oak is too
powerful.
present.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, it's a nice balance with the two. Yeah.
6 Okay, that's lovely.
That's 12 bottles of wine in the bag.
Be careful of the step.
And now there are more customers.
This is our main one.
Nice, very nice.
If you opened a bottle, no, it can't stay open. 6 bottles of the red is €39.
Over the weekend, Steve and Rob have a steady flow of visitors.
Thank you. It's lovely to meet you.
Don't forget the box. He's coming.
And managed to sell dozens of bottles of wine to some happy customers.
Thank you.
They've gone away very happy. hopefully they'll be regular visitors, and you know, that's what you want really, is to build somebody that's going to come every couple of months, buy a case of wine. If you have a few hundred of those, you're happy. We'll get there.
And on top of all this, they have UK merchants interested in stocking the wine too. But now they have to turn their attention to next year's crop. Over the summer, they've worked tirelessly on their vines.
See, all the nice vines are there. That's pretty, that is.
Because how these grapes grow is the difference between success and failure.
There are some very big financial risks with your harvest. If it doesn't work, you're looking at thousands gone just through a silly mistake.
And Rob and Steve's first fear could be coming to fruition.
We've got a really good crop. It's just, they're a little bit small for what we want at the moment.
Rob and Steve have spent the last year tending to the grapes, but they're always at the mercy of the weather, and it seems the long hot summer has caused a problem.
You can see the grapes are formed beautifully. You can pick them off and eat them. They're perfectly delicious at the moment. So what they need is a rainfall, good rainfall, so that the water can come up through the plant and into the individual grapes and plump them up.
With everything riding on a good harvest, this is a critical time for the couple.
Within the next few weeks, we're going to have to harvest them, regardless of whether there's rain or not, because they'll start to dry out. If they start to dry out, then we'll have to harvest without any rain, which means we'll have a lower juice production.
Well, you could be up to 20% down on juice. At the end of the day, that transfers into bottles of wine. For some people, that's the difference between profit and loss.
Rob and Steve face a nerve-wracking wait.
Come on, Branston, bring on the rain.
We'll do the rain dance.
And though Steve tries to be positive,
nothing.
Without some rain, their future in France may not be as rosy as they'd hoped. In the Charente, it's a big week for Dan and Jodie. They're expecting a visit from an angling documentary presenter that could boost their bookings.
He's a big name in the angling world. Anyone who knows anything about angling knows Bob James. So he's a good chap to have on side.
If you get these people singing your praises and stuff, it's, you know, it's what you want, isn't it? If famous anglers are saying, look, it's brilliant here, you're going to get the business.
So Dan and Jodie want everything to be perfect.
Already this morning, I found a pet mouse that's been roaming the house free for the last 2 days lost. That was how I started the day, and it's kind of continued along the same veins.
And they certainly don't need any surprises today because Bob's partner used to be a hotel inspector.
The people that have just been in must hold some sort of record for the amount they've drunk this week.
And the pressure to impress is starting to take its toll.
I think I'm going mad, aren't these hours? These are hours. I'm just making love. Look at me like this.
But by the time Bob, James and his family arrive, Dan and Jodie are ready.
Oh, nice to see you too.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you.
Hello. I've been in there a few times.
Oh, goodness. I used to be a hotel inspector, and so when I go into property, I'm looking at how the quality is, and you know, it's fabulous.
That's a thumbs up from Bob's partner Jane. Now it's up to the fish.
Good morning, Mrs. Carp.
And since Bob's one of the best in the business, it doesn't take him long.
One beautiful French carp, and beautiful French sunshine, and a beautiful French lake. Say goodbye, Bob.
Today there's some more exciting news though. Bob has invited a friend, TV host Chris Tarrant, to take a look at the new lodge and fish. His visit could generate a lot of business. 5 years ago, Chris was at a nearby lake and made a big booking.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. He sort of went there, loved it, and wrote the guy out a cheque for the same week for the next 5 years. So those 5 years are over, so now I need to fetch him over here so he can go, oh, this is really nice, Dan, here's the cheque for the next 5 years.
Jodie and Dan can't wait to meet Chris, but he's arriving at the busiest time of their week when guests are coming in and checking out.
It is a Saturday and it's...
It is a Saturday and we do have the largest number of guests coming ever.
Yeah.
And obviously our new people are due at lunchtime today. And when is Chris Tarrant popping by? Lunchtime today.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Bob, Dan and Jodie need a way to give their celebrity guest a private tour before any guests check in.
Because otherwise it'd be hopeless, wouldn't it? If I take you in the lodge and they're all in there, there'll be answers.
Dan's idea is to ask the new guests to relax in the garden before checking in.
This might not be ideal, but we've got the bounce castle and stuff like that. You might want to invite them round here for...
Yeah.
I know that's
But
not
that's
nice
fine,
for you.
but I would quite like to meet Chris Tarrant myself, rather than be babysitting other people's children.
Okay.
A couple of hours later, this week's guests arrive.
Hi mate, I'm Dan.
They've come all the way from Lincolnshire and are keen to start their holiday. But Jodie has to explain why they can't. This could be awkward.
So it's a bit of an unusual one today, and I'm really sorry to put this on you, but Dan was naughty to say it was all right to come early today, weren't you?
Oh great, thanks. Blame it on me.
Well, we didn't realise the timing, to be fair, did we? But Bob James is a very well-known car panger. He's just been here for the week with his family and friends, and he's picking up his friend Chris Tarrant from the airport and would like to show him the lake and the place. If, you know, it's a lot to ask, but if you wouldn't mind just staying out and unpacking your bits just for a little bit longer so you can have a look round. Thank you so much.
That's all right.
Phew! And it's just in time because it isn't long before Bob's back with his famous friend.
Hey Chris, I'm Dan, nice to meet you.
If Chris likes it here and word spreads, it could be a massive boost to this business. Benidorm, brand new Indian restaurant Noir has finally opened its doors for the first time. Owners Dina, Martin and Sunil have been dreaming about their new stylish business for weeks. But it's turning into a bit of a nightmare.
See, look, they're like looking, so you should go and chat to them. You don't do that.
It's time to tout for some business.
Looking for someone. Let's see if they'll come in.
Noir has a high-end image, but this minimalist look is failing to tempt the tourists away from the town's more traditional spots. Time for some direct action.
Yeah, I'm not really comfortable with approaching people in the street. It's not my thing really, but you got to try and get some people in and see what happens.
But maybe some Indian tapas can tempt in the customers.
So, Dean, this is the first recipe we're going to do. Put some oil in there first, as we did, and then we'll just stir-fry it off, and then add cabbage and the carrot, and then a bit of lemon at the end.
Excellent.
And as the aromas of curry drift into the air, Martin finally gets his first sale.
That's our first customers, yeah, my hand was just... It's so fizzy, it's just too fizzy that way.
But his first customers don't order any food, and it sets a pattern for the rest of the night. It seems most people come to this part of town to drink.
Hiya, lads. What are you doing? Where are you going?
Don't know. Oh, no, we'll just pick something to eat, then we're off.
It's a restaurant.
And even those who want to eat are confused by Noir's slick shop front.
No fail, epic fail. Hiya, guys. You're right. You're off out for a drink. Hello. You okay? You English or Spanish? Do you want to come in for a drink? No. I'm not sure we're going to have much luck doing this touting tonight, so it might be okay in the morning when it's like people want to sit in the sun and have some food.
Opening night has been a total disaster. They haven't sold a single dish, and Dina thinks she knows why.
No one knows what we do.
Yeah, exactly.
So what we could do is get a board made up tomorrow, write the dishes down and put it in front of the bar, because when you walk by it looks like a bar. People might not know it's a restaurant.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe we do that tomorrow?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah, we've got to do that.
As a new day dawns, the family have been thinking hard about how to keep their dreams alive. And Dina thinks she has the answer.
One of the things we've noticed around here is everything's very visual. The people that come here like visuals. I mean, our bar is quite simple. As you can see, it's all white with very small text and quite subtle. However, we've quickly learned that we need to put our menus on a big blackboard for people to see.
The family decide they must work on their image if they're to survive the summer. But will this be enough to get the customers through the doors? Next time, it's D-Day at Rob and Steve's Vineyard.
We're desperately in need of some rain to get a little more juice into the fruit.
But will the season end on a low?
Keep everything crossed that our hard work pays off and we don't have nature coming and sticking the boot in right at the end.
Will Chris Tarrant...
It's very nice, but can we go and see some fish?
Give the fishing lake the thumbs up.
The noise level? Well, apart from you asking silly questions, it's very quiet.
And can a brand new image...
We need this up because obviously we need the people in.
Secure Noir's future.
Maybe Benidorm's ready for it, maybe it's not, only time will tell.
It's a dream chased by thousands of expats, setting up new lives in Europe.
It couldn't be any different than Scotland.
I feel like I've just been born.
There's great weather and property is amazing value.
Something like this in the UK would be well out of our reach.
But nothing in life is for free.
Look at that swimming pool.
Yeah,
wow.
it's way too much money.
So to pay their way, enterprising expats are aiming high.
That was amazing.
And going into business.
Gracias.
On this series, we're with a new group of Brits.
Pick up a little bit of French along the way. Bonsoir.
Setting sail and serving up in Spain.
Always happy customers here.
Running fishing lodges and B&Bs in France.
Oh, door's not on.
But will business boom? Yeah. Or go bust?
We are quite literally dead in the water.
And will these new expats find happiness in the sun?
So proud of you and what you're setting out to do.
Today, it's D-Day for France's newest winemakers.
We're desperately in need of some rain to get a little more juice into the fruit.
But will the season end on a low?
Keep everything crossed that our hard work pays off and we don't have nature coming and sticking the boot in right at the end.
Will this TV celeb...
It's very nice, but can we go and see some fish?
Give this fishing lake the thumbs up.
The noise level? Well, apart from you asking silly questions, it's very quiet.
And can a brand new image...
We need this up because obviously we need the people in.
Save an ailing restaurant.
Maybe Benidorm's ready for it, maybe it's not, only time will tell.
For anyone dreaming of a new life in France, there are plenty of opportunities that won't break the bank. Running a gîte or B&B is generally the most popular, cost-effective choice.
Bon appetit.
This stunning 4-bedroom home is on the market for €500,000 and comes with 2 gîtes in an area that's perfect for holidays.
This area's popular with the British, one because the climate's great, it's easy to get to is the main thing, because we've got flights into 4 different airports within an hour of here. You can sling your dog in the car and the kids and get here in a few hours.
There are also those dreams that sound pretty unachievable, like running a vineyard with no experience.
You cold?
Yeah.
But 2 former estate agents are proving that with hard work and dedication, anything is possible.
Seeds going nice and brown. Look like it, don't they?
Steve and Rob bought this 20-acre estate and vineyard and have renovated a dilapidated house into a stunning new home. And they're now busy turning an old farmhouse into 4 self-catering gîtes.
You've got that lovely shot in the morning when you open the window, the sun's shining, the birds are singing, you smile as you look across the vineyard, and the pneumatic drill starts.
It's now September and gîte renovating is taking a back seat as grape harvest is looming.
See, all the nice vines are there. That's pretty, that is.
But the long hot summer has left the fruit smaller than they hoped, and smaller grapes means less wine.
We're desperately in need of some rain to get a little more juice into the fruit because they're ripening fast. Until we get some rain, we won't be able to harvest.
Steve and Rob had hoped to improve on last year's yield of 3,500 bottles which they bought with the vineyard. But if conditions don't improve, that dream could be over. 6 days later, and their wishes have been granted.
It's a bit muddy.
Leaving the couple in great spirits.
Last night we had really terrific thunder and lightning storms with a good quantity of rain, which was great. We've been waiting and waiting for it.
The real grey cloud started rolling in at real speed. It was a scary Wizard of Oz. I expected the house to fall on my sister, to be honest.
And the rain has already had the effect they were hoping for.
That's plumped up just from last night's rain. See, that's lovely. Lots of juice coming out of that.
It should be beneficial, and that's what we want. Another couple of days of showers, which hopefully are coming. It's really gone muddy in between there quite quick, isn't it?
And it's not long before they do come.
Loving the weather. I wouldn't think I'd ever say that. The grass will soon go green again, the grapes will plump up, and it'll be a nice prelude to autumn.
With the grapes plumping up nicely, Rob and Steve need to get ready for harvest by cleaning the 60-year-old wine storage tanks.
This is our cellar.
What we call the shay?
No, we're English, so we call it a cellar.
Steve doesn't like it in here. He just doesn't like it. And if there's somebody else daft enough to do it.
And though this looks like menial work,
just give it a bit of water.
It's a vital part of production.
You can't risk producing wine in an environment that's not spotless.
Same principle as making wine at home, but on a much different scale. Losing a Jemmy John of wine isn't a big thing, but losing a vat full of a few thousand bottles worth, ooh, slight different risk involved. So getting it right's important.
With the equipment ready, all they need now is for the weather to continue to play ball.
The team includes Mother Nature and us. So if she's looking down on us, I don't think anyone can knock the work that we've put in. Keep everything crossed that our hard work pays off and we don't have nature coming and sticking the boot in right at the end.
The Costa Blanca, famous for its sun-drenched beaches and busy tourist towns. But step away from the hustle and bustle and the hillsides reveal some hidden gems. Traditional Spanish villages dotted with country homes that represent amazing value for money. A 3-bed property can be bought for as little as €80,000.
This is going to be hilarious. Are you ready to teach me?
I'll try my hardest.
It helped persuade newlyweds Martin Reeston and Dina Palmer to leave Birmingham to run a restaurant in Benidorm.
Yes! That was awesome.
I can't imagine going back to my old life now. It's very different, you know, getting up in the morning, getting onto the motorway or going to a meeting, prepping the night before. It's quite nice just to do something different. It's just amazing living in Spain.
Martin and Dina live in the picturesque village of Madara in a 3-bedroom home with Dina's brother Sunil.
What I love the most, like when you wake up and then you just look at the view outside the house and you've just got like the olive vines, almond vines, grape vines and then the mountains.
But the view isn't so sunny at the restaurant after launch night fell flat. So it's time for a rethink, and Dina believes their clean-cut minimalist image could be to blame.
One of the things we've noticed around here is everything's very visual. The people that come here like visuals. I mean, our bar is quite simple. As you can see, it's all white with very small text and quite subtle.
To fix the problem, they have enlisted one of Benidorm's most famous sign writers.
See that one there?
Yeah.
That's one that I've done.
Originally from Yorkshire, Flash Harry Bird has a near monopoly on the chalkboards in Benidorm.
So this is your text, basically, and what it would look like. So that looks perfect, actually. It looks neat, presentable, and a lot better than what I'm capable of.
Oh,
so hopefully tomorrow we'll be selling loads of stuff because of your board.
Tomorrow you'll be on the
Lovely.
map.
Thank you. Thanks
All right,
a lot. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bright and early the next morning, Flash Harry arrives with his wife to write the new signs, followed a few minutes later by his clients.
You either need to set off early or set your alarm early.
Now Flash Harry can get on with the job. It doesn't take him long, but the results are definitely eye-catching.
There you are, my love.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's mint.
Okay, don't give me a carry up.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. We need this up because obviously we need the people in.
I love it. Goes with our colour theme, so it looks really good.
And just 2 days later, business appears to be on the up.
It's definitely worked. Before we had no one coming in. I actually spoke to Sunil, who stood over the other side of the road, and I said, do you realise we have nothing up there that tells anybody what the place is?
Finally, the kitchen is a hive of activity.
Mark, can you do service?
The food, it was fantastic. It was the best food that we had in Benidorm so far.
And as night falls, trade is starting to pick up.
It's gone a bit bonkers here.
Preparing the dinner for the bunch of 8 lads.
It's a lovely place to come to, I'd say. Comfy, you can come in, you can chill. I just really love that kind of thing, yeah.
But despite the positive feedback, the bar is still not out of the woods. Even though there's a steady stream of customers, it's not bringing in enough cash.
First few days was difficult, ups and downs, lots of ups and downs actually. The highs and lows around about are immense.
The harsh reality is that they're not making enough money. It's time to cut costs. Before opening night, they hired a trainee, Dean. Now they've had to let him go.
It was a shame, but we had to make a decision, and unfortunately we had to, it was a hard one, but Dean had to leave.
But that might not be enough.
So sometimes it's disheartening when we see that the other bars are quite busy and we're quiet, but then they have been here for a long time.
With the bar not making enough money, the family know they must do something if they're going to keep their dreams alive.
A lot of people think it's just a restaurant, so we need to get out the message that we're a bar as well as a restaurant.
That's what we've learnt about Benidorm. Everybody wants everything obvious, you know, they have picture menus, you know, for pizza.
So we need to maybe look at signage outside.
It's a very steep learning curve at the minute for us, and maybe Benidorm's ready for it, maybe it's not, only time will tell.
For anyone wishing to embrace the alfresco lifestyle, southwest France offers a bit of everything. The landscape and the climate combine to create a perfect backdrop. And here in Charente, the gentle river waters are ideal for sports like canoeing, kayaking and paddleboarding. Not to mention bobbing about on a pedalo. It was partly a love of the great outdoors that persuaded Dan and Jodie Bartholomew Oates to leave Southampton and move here with their young family.
If I said tomorrow that I wanted to go home, you'd be devastated, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You love it,
definitely.
don't you?
Yeah.
For them, this is the perfect environment to raise their daughters, Bella and Beau.
I think there are builders and bankers that will earn a lot more than we do. But if you're after a family lifestyle rather than just pounds in the bank, then I think it's a really lovely thing to do.
Dan and Jodie have invested everything in a fishing business that includes a stunning 3-bed home with 35 acres of land, 2 fishing lakes and 2 self-catering properties.
Hi, mate, I'm done.
Today they have new guests, but have asked them to wait before checking in because a famous visitor has dropped in to look around.
Hi, Chris, I'm done. Nice to meet you.
Keen angler Chris Tarrant regularly fishes in France and is checking out the lake for a potential holiday next year.
How long have you been down here, Dan?
2 years this month. Yeah, and loving it. It's it's lovely. For us, it's a complete change. I was in the Air Force as a helicopter engineer, and Jodie owned care homes for the elderly.
So why did you go, anyone will do? I'll buy a cart lake in France. How did you do that?
I have no idea, really.
Chris gets a grand tour.
This is the new place that we've just finished.
Yeah,
it's cool, isn't it?
Literally a couple of months ago.
It's lovely. It's better than home. It's really nice. I mean, I love French stonework and stuff, and what you can do down here with properties is brilliant. Yeah, it's good.
But fishing fan Chris isn't really here to admire the decor.
So, very nice. Can we go and look at some lakes now, please?
Important bits.
Look at fishing. I fished since I was a little tiny boy. And then, you know, World War I came along, the trenches, the Somme. Fished for all that. Yeah, no, I've always fished since I was a kid.
Chris has been fishing in France for years, so he's not easy to impress.
Cool, what a nice lake.
But it looks like he's hooked.
The noise level, apart from us. Well, apart from you asking silly questions, it's very quiet. It's lovely, it's beautiful.
Dan and Jodie are hoping Chris will be booking a stay at the lodge when he gets back to the UK, and the signs are good.
I do think you're probably both slightly mad, but good luck. No, you've done brilliantly. Good luck.
Thank you.
We'll see you again.
Yeah, definitely.
Next time with my fishing.
Yeah, that's
good,
the
good.
thing.
That's
Come
the
and get
aim,
him to
isn't it?
actually fish.
Yes.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
With a potential future guest gone, there are now more pressing matters, welcoming the guests who were asked to delay check-in while Chris had his private tour.
Oh, wow, look at the space. Lots of room to run around in. Look at this.
Run around in there.
Wow, she said wow.
Luckily, the guests didn't mind hanging about, especially as Dan and Jodie have put some treats in their fridge.
Oh, great. I'll put some beers in there. I'll put you a bottle of champagne in there.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's lovely. It's ideal for us while they're fishing, because the girls can go in the garden and use the pool and jacuzzi and everything. So yeah, it'd be great.
Check-in done. The family end the day on a high. But the good mood doesn't last, because a few weeks later there's some news that could spell disaster for the business. A blue-green algae is spreading across the lake.
I am one of the more laid-back individuals, but this sort of thing is a big worry for us. I mean, something like this, if it does get across your whole lake, it can wipe out your whole stock.
At Rob and Steve's new vineyard, it's the biggest day of the year.
So the machine's just started picking the grapes now.
Finally, after months of looking after the vines, today's the day they'll find out if all their hard work has been worth it.
Still dark, vehicles turn up, still wiping sleep from the eyes, thinking it's not 8 o'clock yet, but hey, they were here.
Rob and Steve have almost 5 acres of vines to harvest, so they've hired in specialist contractors and machinery for the job.
That machine that's going up and down the rows at the moment, that's sucking all the good grape within its calibrated area. It shakes and goes like hoovering away.
But these machines can't pick every bunch. And being a small vineyard, each grape counts, so they're going to have to get stuck in too.
So you can see here there's some low ones that the tractor's missed. They're perfectly good grapes, so we don't want to waste them. The big vineyards can afford to leave these on the vines and not bother about them, but for us it's part of our small harvest, so we don't want to miss anything. There we go.
The tractor driver is making short work of harvesting the vines.
He's leaving a few too many behind.
Rob and Steve have their work cut out.
That's a couple of bottles, isn't it?
Trying to keep up.
Get wasted if we didn't do this. But if we're not careful, the tractor will get too far ahead of me. The little straggly ones, we don't bother with them, but any bunches we need to take. This is just from 2 rows. So if you imagine if we left them behind for the whole vineyard, makes a difference. That's 4 bottles of wine. Oh, my back.
After a couple of hours, pretty much half the vineyard has been harvested.
You've got all the stalks, you've got all the leaves, all the branches, and the machine comes out with pretty much only grapes. It's amazing, really.
Rob and Steve are hoping to improve on the 3,500 bottles they purchased with the vineyard.
You know what I think?
Doesn't look a lot, does it?
It doesn't look as many as last year, but it's the juice quantity that counts.
Halfway through the harvest, and Rob and Steve don't have as many grapes as they were expecting. Will they really meet their ambitious target?
Oh.
In Benidorm, siblings Sunil and Dina's husband Martin have made a drastic decision. They've shut their restaurant after an unsuccessful opening.
What we've decided to do is close for about 3 or 4 weeks, just to make sure that we can get our branding right. We're having some artwork done, we're redoing the menu designs, make sure that we're the place that everybody wants to come in September.
Step 1. New artwork for the walls, done by local illustrator Beverly Ambridge. Her designs are based on traditional henna patterns.
Really, really pleased with that. Really amazing.
To hopefully add the wow factor.
Yeah, we're getting there, slowly. Slowly, surely we're getting there. It's quite a big project, but once it's done, it's going to look absolutely fantastic. And hopefully it's going to make them a lot more busier, and a lot more people are going to come in, and hopefully they're going to make lots of money, which is the idea.
Beverly labours through the night, and by the following day, she's done.
That looks so good.
Chuffed a bit.
I really like it. It's Indian without being too in your face. It's subtle.
It's classy.
Yeah, it's classy.
Next on the list is the menu, because the concept of Indian food served tapas style seems to be confusing some of the customers in Benidorm.
Normally, if I went to a tapas bar, I would say that you would order maybe 3 to 4 dishes each. But here, I think people wouldn't really be willing to do that. I think it's beyond their comprehension.
A lot of the customers that have come to us treat it like an Indian restaurant. So come in and go, can we have this?
But brother and sister aren't seeing eye to eye on the menu.
I think we should get rid of the 2 tapas one, because that's just pointless.
Why though? Because if 2 people came...
No, as in like 2 tapas items.
They can't agree about the size of the dishes.
And the portions are slightly, ever so slightly bigger.
Yeah, but we've already started doing that.
Not that long.
Yeah, we did. We've been doing it for about 2 weeks.
We haven't.
Or the prices.
What part of that
I'm
didn't
just
you
talking
understand?
about the customers. I do understand.
Well, obviously not.
Whichever way, the prices are going up, so...
We do have our ups and downs, which is natural because it's a very stressful environment.
We're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every brother and sister has a falling out, but you know, within an hour we'll be like best friends again. And Martin always says that. He goes, you 2 argue, but you're not best friends the next half an hour later.
They love each other, you know, they're really good friends as well.
Family row over, step 3 of the revamp is a brand new sign. And what better way to make the bar stand out than with letters 4 foot high?
There was not much indication of what we actually did. So now we have like the bar and grill just in a big font, which is great.
It's clean, it's concise, it's very contemporary, so it goes to the rest of the bar. Really, really pleased with it, actually.
At a cost of €500, this is the final piece of the jigsaw for the revamp. Martin, Sunil and Dina are now ready to relaunch. But will all their efforts actually pay off? Dan and Jodie have invested their life savings in their carp fishing business in southwest France, where they live with their 2 young daughters.
I'm 4 and I'm 2.
So far, this season has been a great success, with satisfied holidaymakers staying in their lodges. But there's no doubt about it, the fish here play a huge part.
Cheers, beast. Everyone's just smashed their PBs, so happy days. Same time next year. Yeah.
Any new business is a gamble, but with a fishery, there is always one unspoken threat that hangs in the air.
My main worry is always going to be the fish dying.
It takes one disease or one farmer to spray the wrong chemical on adjacent fields, and you could have a huge, extremely expensive problem that we have no guard against it, with no insurance against it. They won't insure against it.
It's now August, and that nightmare scenario could become a reality. An algae has started spreading across the lake, which could wipe out every fish they own.
All the green there, that's all algae.
Some of their carp are so big they're worth tens of thousands of pounds each, so to lose even a small fish is a huge setback. To lose them all could be the end of their dream.
It's at the end of August now, so we'd have to cancel all September and October's bookings. You know, it must be getting up towards 100,000, I would imagine, that you'd have to come up with, which, you know, I haven't got in my back pocket.
To attack the algae before it poses a threat, Dan has spent £2,000 on an ultrasonic device that sends a pulse into the water. It needs an aerator too to keep the oxygen flowing.
There we go. Been thinking about the machine for ages, but to come up with that money out of thin air is quite difficult.
But it might not be problem solved. There's always a chance the machine could cause an oxygen crash that could actually kill the fish.
I'll be down here all the time checking the oxygen levels and checking the pH of the water to make sure everything's okay. But it's just a case of wait and see and just wait if the algae disappears.
To make matters worse, angling journalist Ken Townley is due for another visit. He's just posted a great review, but the algae could spoil everything.
He's not a big fan of algae, so I'm hoping that it's all sort of gone before he comes. Otherwise he won't be a happy chappy.
It's almost 3 weeks later. Journalist Ken is on his way to the lakes.
It is going. It's going a little bit slower than I expected. The smell that was there before, that's completely gone. So the lake is looking a lot better. The fish seem to be happier, so the machine seems to be working.
Dan's hoping Ken will have advice on how to tackle the algae.
If he sees a problem, he'll tell you, and you know, which is good for us because we always welcome constructive criticism, but at the same time, we don't want things to be wrong as soon as he turns up. So.
Expert angler Ken wastes no time in getting down to assess the lakes.
The worst thing that can happen is if you get a situation where you've got huge temperature drop, like in a thunderstorm, for instance. All the algae dies, and as it dies, it takes all the oxygen out of the water, and all the fish die as well.
Ken soon finds evidence of the effect it's having on the freshwater shellfish.
This is what blue-green does. That's a swan mussel shell. They just die off in their droves. They form a major part of the carp's diet.
It's a worrying sign.
If people aren't catching fish, they're not going to want to come back. That's the fundamentals of the business.
Will all Dan's work in trying to eradicate the algae simply go to waste? In Benidorm, the relaunch of Dina and Martin's Indian tapas restaurant is just days away. So after spending €1,000 on their new image, they are going all out with marketing to get people in.
Hi, can we give you a flyer for a party on Friday? We're opening a new bar. It's really important for us to get the flyers out. Where we're located is more of a destination place where people may come if they want to go for a meal, and if they see our bar, that hopefully they'll like it. Oh, we've got a bar that's literally just down the road. We're opening a new bar.
Nice one.
Yeah, brilliant. See you later.
Despite all their grafting, as opening night arrives, the trio can't hide their concerns.
I suppose the biggest fear that we could have is that we'll have no customers turn up.
If it is, it's a party for 3. We've invited loads of people. People have said they're coming. We'll have to see what happens.
Tonight, it's a bit of a worry. We've got to reopen anyway. We've got to start getting some cash back in.
As evening sets in, Benidorm's streets spring to life with plenty of potential customers ready for a night out on the town. It's time for Team Noir to put on their glad rags too.
Might be a bit over the top for Benidorm, but what's over the top in Benidorm?
Now it's time to find out if the restaurant's new look will do the trick.
You're right for drinks at the minute, yeah? Cool.
Soon the first few people drift in ready for their free champagne. And then within an hour, the bar is the busiest it's ever been.
We'll have to do it in 2 seconds.
Dina and Martin are rushed off their feet.
We're not used to working behind the bar. As you can see, I'm not lying here.
In the kitchen, Sunil is cooking up some special dishes to serve as a free buffet. And now they're ready to serve to the hungry clientele. So it's time for Dina to take to the floor.
Hello everybody, can I just grab your attention for 2 seconds? Thank you so much for coming to the grand opening, and we've got some free food at the back over there, so if you fancy trying some of our delightful Indian tapas, feel free, it's just at the back over there. Thank
you. The relaunch appears to have been a success.
Good Indian tapas, nice music and a good atmosphere really. I think it's nice, it's a place that people will come.
The owners make you feel really welcome, they're really at home, they work behind the bar, it's their business, they love their business, their love is in their food.
By the end of a very long night, the reopening has gone better than they dared to hope.
For us, it's a success because there's so many people here and everybody seemed to like it. So a really successful night. So we're really pleased.
Personally, I feel really happy. There was a lot of happy people here, which makes me happy.
I'm feeling great. This has been a really good night. There's been loads of people in. I've been rushed off my feet. I haven't had a break. I'm starving. I haven't had anything to eat. Got a load of clean-up to do, which is a bit annoying. Don't really want to do that. But, you know, it's been a great night, really good.
few weeks later, and after more successful nights, the family are feeling more optimistic.
2 words that can describe Benidorm is cheap, cheerful, and people want value for money here.
My preconception was that if I opened a really nice spa here, people would want to come in because it's a nice environment. But actually, we found the opposite.
We've had to change so many things, but we're adapting to the environment that we're in.
And despite their dream almost slipping away at the start of the season, they're now confident their new business is a going concern.
It is going to work, and it will work. The branding, I think we've got spot on. That we could have a chain of these restaurants across Costa Blanca, and then we'll be selling franchises.
At Dan and Jodie's fishing lake, angling journalist Ken Townley is coming to the end of his 2-week stay. As well as holidaying here, he's been checking on the blue-green algae situation that could devastate this business.
When it's really bad, the algae can knock fishing completely on the head. When the algae dies, it dies almost as one. As it goes, it takes all the oxygen with it, and the fish, they can die en masse.
Dan's been treating the algae for several weeks, and now Ken's assessing how serious things are.
When I got here on Saturday, I had a walk around the lake, and what we found was an awful lot of algae. Hopefully, most of it will have died back. It was more evident in this bay, but it appears to have mostly dissipated. So I'm a lot more confident now. Nip it in the bud while you can, and that's what they've done.
Luckily, it seems the work Dan has been doing is paying off.
Properly treated, properly managed, like Jodie and Dan are doing, this will be gone in another 2 weeks.
Ken's assessment is great news for Dan and Jodie. The algae isn't going to ruin their business, and it hasn't spoilt Ken's holiday.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
By the time they bid a fond au revoir to Ken and his wife, it's obvious they're becoming part of the family.
And I'm so good. Sad every time we leave Le Croix, but sadder than ever this time.
Come back soon.
I will if we can.
And with Ken on his way, it's back to business as usual for Dan and Jodie. Andrew and Dan from Kent are checking in for a week's stay.
Wow, lovely. Does that do, mate? It does. I don't think we've got enough space.
There's an open plan
yeah.
lounge diner, Wi-Fi, TV.
As the season draws to a close, Dan and Jodie can reflect on a summer which has seen them open their second lake.
Your terrace?
Lovely.
Private garden, sunsets, as you can tell, just down there.
Juggling a bigger business with a young family was a huge risk.
This is your lake for the week. I guess it's a case of chapter 1 complete, isn't it?
Yeah, it feels good to have some of the trepidation and what ifs behind us. And now it's just, what can we do next? How can we make it better? Come on, let's more, because now we've just got to keep on what we started.
Running a carp fishery is a far cry from their life back home in the UK.
I'm Arabella.
Good girl.
And I'm Bo.
Why can't you be that cute?
But Dan and Jodie are certain this business is here to stay.
That was our big question, is can we do it? Have we got enough know-how, enough money, enough time to put into it to make it work?
I think it's been very successful.
I think with having been fully booked since we opened and having only 6 weeks left for the whole of next year, and we're only in September now.
Well, it's not even next year, is it? We're getting bookings for the year after that as well.
I think the answer is yes. How you settling in?
Yeah, very nice, very peaceful here, isn't it?
And now I'm a
It's beautiful,
puppet.
isn't it? Yeah, I think we're on the right track. I think, yes, we've done it.
At Clovier Rocher, the first batch of grapes are back at the wine cellar, and the process of turning them into liquid is well underway.
The colour of the juice is already quite red.
So the colour's there, that's good already. I'm just inspecting the joints to make sure there's no leaks.
The first tractor load contained Cabernet Franc grapes, but they have collected much less than they expected. Rob's worried they won't surpass the last harvest.
I'm not sure how good we're going to be compared to last year. It's always the worry. It'd be nice to think that what we had done over this last 12 months had actually improved our quantity of grapes this year. So fingers crossed.
But winemaking is not just about quantity. The quality of the grapes are vital too. And now wine consultant Serge has arrived to check the juice using a very scientific method.
Good acidity.
I'll take your word for it.
Sugar and acidity. Équilibre.
That's really nice actually as a grape juice. You could happily down a glass of that.
As they harvest the other section of the vines...
Is your bucket full?
No.
Can you come and take some of mine, because I've overfilled it, I can't carry it.
OK.
Steve and Rob make sure they don't miss a single bunch.
When you're looking at thousands of acres, missing a few isn't a big deal, but for us, it soon becomes a noticeable quantity. Only another 20 rows to go.
That first load going into the tank,
I started doubting whether we had kind of put enough work in to get a better harvest than last year. I'm hoping my fears were unfounded, and we actually have got that quantity that I was hoping we would achieve.
The second section of their vines produce Merlot grapes.
C'est joli ça, la vendange est mûre, c'est joli, il n'y a pas de... C'est très très joli.
And things are looking up.
It just shows the difference that this area, basically they're nice, big, plump, and we get a slightly better result from this side. But it all goes together and makes a good wine, and if Serge thinks it's grape caviar, that's all right by us.
The last batch of grapes picked by the machine are now being processed.
Oh, the pump.
Along with the skins, which will give the red wine its colour and flavour.
Money, money.
And as Rob continues his search for any extra bunches, Steve has some news.
The vat's full.
The vat's full?
Yeah.
So if the vat's pretty much full, could be a good one.
This is an amazing achievement. Rob and Steve think they might just beat last year's yield.
The last one, precious cargo.
After 5 hours hard graft, they've harvested 6,000 bottles of juice, a third more than last year.
Harvest finished.
Grapes are all collected in, all
Good
in
quantity.
the vat.
Helped by the 100 buckets they picked by hand.
One day you might be drinking that.
To be that full, it's a little bit of a surprise, yeah. So, good harvest. Very pleased.
Yes.
Worth the wait.
Despite having no experience, these novice winemakers have proven that hard work and determination goes a long way.
It's very easy before you come here to have a romantic sense of winemaking, that it'll be easy and there isn't a huge amount of hard work involved with it, but it's quite the reverse.
Why couldn't we just have opened a flower shop?
Because you can't arrange flowers.
Oh, that's true. The results are in and they're good. Our vat is full. Our harvest is up a third on last year. So we're pretty smug about it, aren't we?
Happy days.
The boys did good.
Les Anglais sont bons.
A year ago, Rob and Steve decided to embark on a journey many would only dream about.
I smell cabbage patch, peeled potatoes.
Smell grapes.
Not only have they grown a bumper crop, they've renovated their own beautiful house, begun work on their 4 holiday cottages, and sold plenty of wine. This is definitely a business for the future.
I'm proud of what we've achieved.
There's lots of people, this would be an unreachable dream for them, and we're living it.
Big mistake, wasn't it, this?
Oh, we should never come here.
Oh, Own wine, beautiful view, smashing house.
You have to suffer this excellent wine.
It's a chore.
Yeah, it is.
A nice place to end up, eh?
Beautiful.
In Benidorm, Noir stayed open through the autumn and is now getting ready for what they hope will be a busy and successful second season. At the fishing lake, both lodges are almost fully booked for next summer, and Chris Tarrant is also coming back. And at Rob and Steve's Vineyard, the new wine is fermenting and they'll continue selling at fairs in the summer, and they're also expecting their first gîte guests. Next time, a family foursome face an uphill battle to realise their business dream.
It's like we were sacking off everything home in the UK, completely going bonkers.
But are they dreaming too big?
Any emotion of like leaving home is kind of being replaced by anxiety.
A husband and wife team take the plunge and buy a new diving venture. But have they left it too late?
His flight is to the Dominican Republic this evening.
Oh, I thought it was Monday. No, in serio?
And after a lifetime spent locking up criminals, will these former coppers ever adapt to civilian life?
A different weapon of choice than I'm used to. Still yellow, like the taser was.